Hello, everyone.
They're here in YouTube land for sure.
Oh, for sure.
This is where they start.
That's true.
But they're out there doing the player meeting, so we figured we'd get started in here. And
yeah, we're here for the first ever live stream of the second ever Oasis Games Pauper Invitational, brought to you by Oasis Games.
And we will have deck lists and stuff and player names and all that.
Yep.
When we get rolling there, they're still collecting all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just sitting down for the player meeting. So
we just talked to the player that we based the eggs episode off of.
Mm-hmm.
And
depending on what he's actually playing, he could be a favorite to actually just win the tournament.
That's what you were saying before this.
Yeah, he before he was a Pauper player, I knew him when he was beating me all the time on the PPTQ circuit locally. So he's a very good player, but he's taken the Pauper and he loves doing crazy stuff. He loves his eggs, he loves brews. So
he sounds like replacement Sean when I'm not around.
Maybe. Yeah, well, we're super excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited. I couldn't qualify to play in the Invitational this time around. I played in the first Invitational. Couldn't qualify for this one just because my school schedule kept me from making it to the tournaments throughout the week. But on the left, we've got Ben Jones, and he is on Is It Blitz, and his opponent is Zach Kirby, and he is on Domain Zoo.
Okay.
Oh no! So it actually, I think that Zach is Greensleeves.
It'll be apparent pretty quick.
Yeah, it'll be apparent pretty quick which player is which, but
okay. So if you had to pick a winner right now,
probably Is It Blitz.
That's what I would go with.
Okay, we're gonna go yell at the players. Don't touch the iPad.
Oh, they moved it back.
Okay,
It's good now.
good. They probably have someone there
Yelling at them.
yelling at them for us. Don't touch the iPad, kids.
Okay, dice roll.
All right, roll for initiative.
I have no idea what that says.
All right, well, let's see.
Yeah, I'm taking Is It Blitz here. The spells, the removal spells in the Domain Zoo list are like Journey to Nowhere and Tribal Flames, and they do, I think, run lightning bolts.
Tribal Flames takes too long to get in line to kill the Cyclops. Like, to get Tribal Flames up to 4,
Yeah.
that's kind of steep, especially when Is It Blitz can just pressure you so much.
They can do it on turn. They can Tribal Flames for 5 on turn 3.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a Kiln Fiend that was laid out before that, your life gets really hard.
Yeah.
Like the creatures are powerful in the Domain Zoo list.
And each one does need to be respected. Like,
Yeah.
you can't just ignore one of the creatures and only care about the other. Like, they will all kill you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to resolve some mulligans and get started. Looks like both players want to keep. Nope, it looks like we have a mulligan. Yep. So I believe Zach is taking a mulligan. We're not going to know 100% for sure. No, it was Zach. I'm fairly certain I saw some forests in his opening hand. So yeah, Zach in the green sleeves on the left, playing Domain Zoo, is taking his mulligan to 6.
And chat is not on screen, so I'll read it. Aldenite 7 says, "Thank you guys for doing this, and we're super excited about this. This is like what we first started doing together as Magic content.
Yeah, we did legacy content for another local store
that shall remain nameless.
Yeah. Well, we can name them.
No.
People can go check out their stream if they want to see legacy. All right.
Well, I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Sure, they're nameless. No free advertising here.
Yeah, you can pay us.
The store can pay us to pimp their stream on our stream, yeah.
And they can pay us, and I don't think we're getting paid right now. We're just doing this because it's fun and for publicity.
Yeah.
Is this another mulligan?
It looks like
Mulligan.
Domain Zoo is mulliganing, but like, I mean, this mana base. 3 Ash Barrens, 2 Evolving Wilds, 7 Forests, 5 Mountains, 1 Plains, 1 Island, 1 Swamp.
So they did go for the package that is all 5 basic lands.
Right.
You can play this deck, I think, pretty respectably with 4 of the basic land types. And then for your 5th one, you just rely on...
Well, you do have a lot of tools where really you just need forests because you have Nylea's Presence. Nylea's Presence turns on like all of your land types. And so really you just need to find some sort of workable hand with forests. You have a lot of ways to get your other colors.
And for those not in the know, Nylea's Presence is a colorless and a green for an enchant land. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and it makes your land every basic land type, giving it the ability to tap for any type of color. So we're actually playing now. It looks like Domain Zoo is going first. They dropped a forest and a wild Nicottle.
And there's a Gitaxium Probe from Ben Jones's side.
So he reveals a mountain, that Nylea's Presence that we were talking about, and a Curd Ape.
Okay.
So he does have 2 colors of mana that can get him that enchantment that'll bring him up to a full domain.
So this is the question though. Do you play Mountain Curd Ape next turn, or do you just play the Nylea's Presence and turn on Wild Nicottle?
You definitely play Nylea's Presence. I think you don't want to be panicking if you do draw a removal spell or something.
Okay.
And it looks like that's probably what he's going to do.
So yeah.
No, this is
a
Burning Tree.
Burning Tree Emissary.
That's awesome.
That's even better. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that Nylea's Presence is online. Wild Nicottle is a 3/3. Doing its best Delver Insectile Aberration impersonation here.
That 3
Turn
toughness,
2 3/3.
That's huge, even if it's on the ground. And a Delver draw is a little bit slower than other kinds of draws with this kind of deck. It doesn't mean you can't just kill him on turn 3. We know that the domain player has no way to interact with something that quick, right now at least.
Well, especially because Ben Jones is leading with a main phase Brainstorm here on turn 2. Or this looks like an upkeep Brainstorm to flip his Delver to a Gush.
So he's looking to race, but he's going to be facing down 7 power worth of creatures next turn.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking 3, he's taking 5 next turn. Basic Mountain. Let's see, what removal spells does Ben Jones have here?
Ben Jones is he's the Blitz player. So
yeah, no removal spells in the main deck.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's all in on protecting his creatures, putting his combo together, and killing his opponent. So we've got nothing in the way of removal spells. So maybe.
So Spencer just chimed in. Who is favored? I think he missed the start of that, but we decided that Blitz is favored.
But maybe Blitz isn't favored. if the Zoo deck is going to be able to do something like this again next game, I mean,
I think okay. So who was favored before mulligans and all that? The game started. I think it was Blitz.
Well, the Zoo player mulliganed to 5.
Yes, at that point he was also not favored. But then when we actually saw what cards were played, okay, there's just a burn spell to close out the game.
Yeah.
I think Spencer just wants us to say that Blitz is favored.
He needs that vindication. Tune into the next episode, Spencer, of Common Knowledge. We gave you your vindication. We shouted out the Is It Blitz deck that finished second in the challenge.
That's true. That was kind of a depressing episode. I got done recording that and felt really bad.
Johnny Vipers is here.
Patreon? Or patron Johnny Viper?
Yeah. Patron of the show, friend of the show.
So
he's a guy.
So he says, I would have been out there playing today, but I realized that next week would be top 8. I'll be out of town next week, so I decided not to come. Frowny face.
Wah, wah, wah. We miss you, Johnny.
Yeah. I actually saw somebody walking on the street that kind of looked like Johnny, and I was like, oh, is Johnny here? And then he's not.
All right, so sideboarding. On the side of Ben Jones, Is It Blitz, we've got 4 Pyroblast, 4 Hydroblast, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Daze, 2 Dispel, and 2 Expedite. On the side of Domain Zoo, we've got 3 Return to Nature, 2 Relic of Progenitus, 2 Spider Silk Armor, 2 Cold Water Snapper. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't even know what that card is.
Yeah.
2 Karavix Torch, 2 Electrickery, and 2 Mystic Familiar.
That's pretty interesting on
Yeah.
both sides. So Expedite, without looking it up, I'm gonna guess is a single red to give a creature haste and draw a card.
I think that you're right.
If you want to look up Expedite, I mean, we don't have an MTG bot in the chat, do we?
I don't think
that
so.
That would be amazing. But I'm gonna look up. I think Cold Water Snapper might be the Shroud.
It sounds like a 2/2.
I think it's a 1/3 with Shroud that
Oh,
switches
okay.
its power and toughness when you play a land card.
Yeah, Cold Water Snapper. Instant, target creature gains haste until end of turn, draw a card.
That was Expedite.
Yeah, that was the Expedite. So, interesting enough, no removal spells out of this Is It Blitz deck at all. I mean, unless you're counting Hydroblast. The Hydroblasts have a few targets in this deck, but I think without any removal, I think it might just actually be rough if the Zoo player can have start like they did. Like, neither of these players really have meaningful ways to interact with each other at all.
Okay, correction on Cold Water Snapper. It's not the card I was
Is that
thinking.
what it is? The 4/5
It's the 4/5 hexproof for 6 mana.
from Dominaria.
I'll assume that's true because I
That
don't
was
want to
a-
open my phone back up.
That was great for Dominaria Limited. Showing up here in the sideboard of Domain Zoo.
But back to your previous point of there's no removal in this Blitz deck.
I think it's just going to turn this matchup into a straight up race. Like, it's just
Yeah.
all about who's on the play, who's got the draw to get there first, because neither player is interacting.
Well, when you ask yourself, am I the control deck? I think being a Blitz player and just being like, well, not me, is
Yeah.
like pretty dang safe.
Sure, yeah. Just get them dead. Interestingly, though, this Is It Blitz deck doesn't have any of the Shadow Rifts. All he's got to push through damage are 3 copies of Teamer Battle Rage.
Which is fine most of the time.
Yeah. I mean, especially when your opponent doesn't have really any meaningful ways to kill your creatures either.
Yeah, most of... Yeah.
Not at instant speed, at least.
Yeah, I mean, how many bolts is the other person on? I mean, is he running bolts?
4 lightning bolts.
So he's on
Yeah.
4 bolts, but that's his only instant speed interaction.
Yeah, four bolts, 4 tribal flames are really the only removal.
So we are in Mulligans right now, and it looks like... I missed a little bit of it, but I think both players are mulliganing?
Hey, here's Lanubi, the first champion of the last invitational.
Was he? Nobody told me that.
Really?
I would have liked to know that. 'Cause I
not
love
bad.
Lanubi.
Yeah, we do. He won the first tournament, so...
So is he qualified for a bigger tournament now, or has he just got all of the Pauper praise?
Oh no, yeah, you win the Oasis Invitational and you're qualified for the Mythic Championship, didn't you know?
I think these are straight up lies that we're peddling here.
Don't believe anything I say. Alright, looks like we're gonna draw our new cards. Are both players on a mulligan to 6? I was looking at deck
1,
lists.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep.
Okay. So I kind of like, when both decks are mulliganing, I definitely like the Is It Blitz player. I mean, obviously the player with Ponders, Brainstorms, etc. in their deck will just mulligan better.
There's another turn 1 Delver.
That didn't do a whole lot for him last turn. Kurt Ape for turn 1 for Zachary.
No, I don't imagine that he's going to be getting a lot of time. So he reveals a Hydroblast, flipping his Delver,
Okay.
and he now has a Hydroblast to race this Ape.
Alright, so that's nice. He's got a bit of meaningful interaction. He's got a clock.
What did that do?
Yeah, make sure he understands what that thing's about to do.
He R'd TFC.
Yeah, good. That was a good thing to do. Just probably just checking the power, making sure, do I have to kill this now, or can I play my Augur Bolus?
Plays the Augur Bolas, finds a Ponder? Or Preordain. I think that was a Preordain.
I didn't see, but he has a Preordain at the top of his hand, so that could have been it. But yeah, he's got a fast clock, he's got meaningful interaction in his hand, he's got a Preordain to find more gas, and he's got an Augur Bolus, which, is just going to block, soak up that 2 damage. Again, Burning Tree and Annihila's presence, really powerful start.
All his deja vu here.
His domain is on, so...
So this is what Augur does and why people think it's ban-worthy. Like, he's got 4 power worth of creatures, and now Augur Bolas is going to be able to just block indefinitely.
Hello, Senor Pantuflas.
Did you just... You probably could have said any word, like a naughty word in another language, and we would never know.
Oh gosh. all the Spanish speakers tuning in are just like, ah!
But yeah, cheers from
Utah.
North America.
Cheers from Salt Lake City. Thank you for tuning in.
So we're on a Preordain, and there was an Ashburn cycle just a minute ago.
Okay. Grabbing an island. He's still got that Pyroblast, which now has 2 great targets.
Hydroblast?
What did I say?
Pyroblast.
Okay. Yeah. The better one, but in this case, the not better one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an Oasis store in Chile. That's cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The Delver plan is looking a lot more reasonable than it did on turn 1.
Uh-huh.
Which...
You mean game 1?
No, I think even turn 1, like turn 1 Delver, we're like, you might not be able to race this guy, and then turn 2 Augur Bolas makes it like, okay, well, maybe there's a problem here now.
Yeah. Well, Zachary's also just had a much slower start. I mean, the difference here between turn 1 Kurdabe and turn 1 Wild Nakal, I think, has been huge.
So there's a... Did you see that attack? It was attack with a single guy. It was blocked by the Augur Bolas, so he could have gotten in for 2, but he left back the Kurdabe, I think, to block?
I think just to make sure that... So, like, Delver right now is a slower clock, but if he's attacking with the Augur, the clock is just an extra turn faster. So, I mean, I think he's just, like... He's dotting his I's and crossing his T's. He's just chump checking, like, I'm going to attack you with my 2/2 because it's no wasted value, but I also need to try to give myself a turn here. I have no idea what this card is.
Yeah, what is this? He turns it around to read it. I mean, without no other alternatives, we need to know what that is. Do you want to run?
Sure.
I mean, I could also.
No, I can run. I'll be the runner.
It looks like it was put immediately into the graveyard. He did Hydroblast it. First person in the chat to guess that gets my respect and admiration. There is Nivix Cyclops, so this turn could be the player on the left's last chance. I'm sorry. You have a name and I've totally forgotten it. It is Zach Kirby. Okay, so he's looking at a Bolt and a Johnny's... not a Johnny's Pride Mate. Kasali Pride Mage. Kasali Pride Mage is just a 2/2 hero that can give a creature Exalted.
Exploding Borders.
Exploding Borders.
2 green, red, domain, does a bunch of stuff. Tons of texts.
Got countered.
Yes. No, but I'll pull up Exploding Borders so I can read it.
I'm pretty sure it like blows up a land or something.
It does all sorts of crazy stuff.
And it has domain on it.
No, Exploding Borders I think is the one that goes and gets lands for you.
Okay.
And then deals damage.
We'll just read it so we're not guessing.
So Exploding Borders, 2 red, green, sorcery, domain. Search your library for a basic land. Put that card into play, tap, then shuffle your library. Exploring Borders deals X damage to target player, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control.
So just tutor and then
tutor deal 5.
X.
Yeah.
But that Delver did go down, I believe, to a lightning bolt.
Oh, I'm tired.
It was a run.
Oh boy.
For those of you who don't know, that was about 20 feet. It was more than that. But
I'm the most fit, out of shape person, according to Glenn Bell.
That's true. So he's still got another Hydroblast. He's at 20 life. I'm still going with Blitz player right here.
Yeah, I mean, he's very ahead. He's got the Hydroblast.
So there's a buff on his now a 4/4 without defender.
Right.
It has protection.
Okay, this could just be a kill. With Zachary tapped out, all he needs here is a Teamer Battle Rage, and that's lethal.
He needs anything that buffs its power by 1. I believe it's at 7 right now.
Okay, if he has any spell, it's lethal.
Yeah. Boom, that's a spell.
Man, he just had the Teamer Battle Rage, so it's super lethal.
Let's just do you 20. Everything that Delver did was irrelevant.
What a waste of a spot in his deck. Didn't even need it.
So now we're at 1-1.
Yeah, we're tied up 1 game apiece.
Domain Zoo is going to be on the play.
Yeah, after seeing this domain deck perform, I might want to change my mind with it being on the play here.
You can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
You want to do a slap bet?
Sure. Slap bet.
Okay.
All right, on stream, Sean gets to slap me. I get to take my glasses off first.
Oh, well, we both have glasses on. We're both going to take our glasses off.
No,
We're
you
gonna slap.
gotta keep your glasses on.
Okay, but if you break my glasses, you got to pay for them.
You can have mine.
You're not blind enough.
See, I still have to like squint even with my glasses on.
So we haven't seen a whole lot of. I'm excited for the Matka Riders. Those are my favorite card in the Domain Zoo deck. Like, getting to play a 3-mana 5/5. Not as exciting as a 1-mana 5/5, but.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a big guy. I mean, Matka Riders is sort of like does a pretty good Tarmogoyf impersonation. Like, it's just a big cheap threat that, you know, on turn 3 is a 5/5 with, you know, Nightlia's presence.
And you can just like. None of your cards really have evasion. I guess you can put. There's like 2 Rancors in the Zoo deck, but they don't have evasion. But you just kind of beat your opponent down with these giant creatures. This deck is a ton of fun. If anybody's thinking about playing the Domain Zoo deck, like, I love it. I've seen a lot of what's it called? The Train. Pain Train.
The crew, the vehicle?
Yeah.
The 4/3 that gets +1/+1 when it attacks?
Yeah.
That crews for 2 or something?
Yeah, they're not playing it, but that is another pretty common pick. I think.
Cool. I love that card. I want to play. I have a playset of them in my Dangerous Wager.
What is Dangerous Wager?
It's 1 in a red for a sorcery, I think. Discard. It's from Avacyn Restore. Discard your hand, draw 2 cards.
Okay, that sounds right. I've looked at that card before. That is a cool card. Okay, so see if anybody mulligans here. Maybe we'll get a game where they both have 7 cards.
Instant. Discard your hand, then draw 2 cards. Come on, friend. Take a turn, tossing the knuckle bones. What have you got to lose? Tobias, Trader of Erdwall.
With the flavor text there.
Yeah, that's the most important part of any card.
Okay, what we seeing? Forest. It's looking like keeps. Yes. Okay, so there's a forest, no wild Nicodle. Evolving Wilds. Probably just a pass back. Cycles and Ash.
Barrens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so both players just using the early turns in the game to set up, develop their mana. So we're seeing a little bit slower start than we did the last couple games.
And I think that the domain that hurts the Domain Zoo player a little bit more.
I agree.
They have more, I think, 1-drops that they care a lot about. Like Wild Nicodle is just.
I think that they care a lot about getting out of the gates quick and putting enough pressure on the Blitz player that they can't really be setting up for their own kill. And when you give Visit Blitz time to do that, time to develop a hand, time to play a Kiln Fiend, it's just going to be really rough.
And they did go get a Plains for their Kasali Pride Mage.
Pride Mate.
Mate. So I'm assuming that he already has red in hand, or his hand is just completely devoid of red cards. And, you know, he needs those red cards. Okay, back to the Blitz player. Untapped Mountain.
And a ponder.
Just a ponder, so no turn 3 kill. We're gonna see a shuffle? He's gonna think twice about that. Get it? Not like the magic card.
So he put the cards back on top, and it looks like he drew an island off of the ponder. Didn't quite see what the other 2 cards were, though.
Attack for
I was too
3.
busy having an aneurysm.
You're welcome, everyone.
There it is!
There's Matt Riders, my boy. So he's now got a 3 for 5 power of creatures on the board.
Yeah.
And that could be bumped up to
Ooh.
much more. Days.
Days for the alternate cost.
Who needs removal when you just never let them resolve?
So interesting, the domain player, it looks like they're just bringing in, or not the domain, sorry, the Blitz player, it looks like they're just bringing in any form of interaction they can. They brought in the Dazes, the Hydroblasts.
What was that card that he turned around? I know that he had what's it called? The one where you, exploding borders. He had exploding borders.
There's a lightning bolt, I thought I saw. Was there another mountain? Yeah, I just didn't catch it. Well, there's the 4th mountain, so, and it looks like exploding borders is going to be the play.
That's going to deal 3 damage and look for a basic
Well, it's going to find the basic first and then deal the damage.
It
So
puts it
he'll-
into play?
Yeah, I believe it put it into play. So he'll get to go put a land into play and then deal that amount of damage. So that would have dealt 4, I believe. I guess I'll look it up again just to make sure that I'm...
Okay, so more digging. I mean, that's a bad sign if you're still digging at this point.
Yeah, puts it into play tapped. And then you deal X damage. So that borders would have been for 4 damage and for a 4th land. So there's a Delver of Secrets. But Zachary has a lightning bolt, I believe, that should take care of this pretty easily.
Maybe between games, I will mess with the video settings a little bit to see if we can get those cards darkened.
Yeah.
But right now, I can't really mess with it. But we were trying to figure out the lighting a little bit better before.
Yeah, we were trying to figure it out beforehand, see if we could do something about the lighting, but yeah, between rounds, Sean will try to work his techno magic and do something. But so Burning Tree Emissary into Lightning Bolt, finished off the Delver, and just another, here's a crack for 4.
Ooh, down to 5.
Yeah, and
These are really one-sided games that we're seeing.
yeah, well, there's been a bit of interaction. Here's another Exploding Borders. Days.
That's a gush.
Or gush.
So floats mana, gush.
Looking for something. Not sure what. No, that's just a concession.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. Zachary Kirby picks this game up over Ben Jones, 2-1 with Domain Zoo.
Do you want to go back to looking at us, unfortunately?
If we have to. We're sorry, everyone.
Yeah, not much here. There's not a backdrop or anything, but
So I'm going to go and see if Zachary wants to come in
that would be fantastic.
and chat with us about that game.
Okay.
And maybe he can tell us about a little bit about Dangerous Wager, because that card's intriguing. Okay, here we are with Zachary.
How you doing?
Just took round 1. Are you feeling good?
Feeling pretty good. I was kind of shaky coming in, but I'm feeling a lot better.
Awesome. Yeah, we were a little worried about you after your game 1 mulligan to 5, and then you
Yeah.
just came out of the gates just incredibly fast.
Best 5 cards I could have had.
It looked perfect.
Yeah, I
Turn 1 to
to
Coddle into... We thought you were just going to go... We were debating, were you going to play Kurdape or were you going to play Nylea's Presence? Sean says you played Nylea's Presence. And he just drew the Burning Tree Emissary to go Burning Tree into Nylea's Presence.
That is if that can be my turn 2 every game, I love it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I see why it sets up. It sets up all your best turn 3 plays, Macro Riders or Big Tribal Flames.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about some of your sideboard choices.
So sideboard, Return to Nature is new tech from the newest set. So good. It's basically it destroys artifacts, equipments, and removes a card from the graveyard. So it's all 3 hate options. Relic of Progenitus, scared of Tron loops because I'm an aggro deck, and if they can just wall me out,
Sure.
I can't do anything. Spider Silk Armor, I was debating between this and Sigurger's Volley for the black-blue Delver. What it does is it adds a +1 to the butt and gives them reach.
So it helps you play around cards like Echoing Decay
Echoing Decay
and block the flying creatures.
I can block the flying creatures. My Nicoddles no longer trade with the Flip Devler, and my Macro Riders, if they're 5/5, no longer trade with the
Gurmag, sure. Okay.
So
Awesome.
that's why I decided to do that.
So tell us about the spicy one here, Cold Water Snapper.
It's a 4/5 hex proof.
Sure, for 6 mana.
Yeah, I've played it against people, and they instantly concede because they can't do anything about it. Their creatures are either too small, they can't, their creatures are too small, they need removal, and they're just gone. So against control, if I can land that, I win.
Okay, sure.
Except for mono black control because of their edicts.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a really hard mono black control matchup. I've never won that one. So that's why I threw in 2 Mystic Familiars. It's a flying, if you have Threshold, it has protection from black.
Okay.
Just to get in. I still don't think that's a good matchup. I still don't think that's a good
Yeah,
enough
that still doesn't help you with the edict problem.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about Dangerous Wager. That was sort of an interesting card that we saw in your list.
Right. Because I'm playing aggro, I empty my hand super fast most of the time. The only thing that usually stays in my hand is an Exploding Borders, because I try to cast that, but
Right.
so I'm running 2 Dangerous Wagers, and basically it's an instant speed 2-mana divination for me. And who doesn't that just sound amazing?
Sure. Yeah.
So that's why I played it, because I had a few flex spots, and so I was like, card advantage can never hurt, so that's why I threw that in.
Okay. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on your round 1 win.
Thank
and
you.
Good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a great day.
All right. So this is actually going to be an exciting one. We've got John Kramer, and he's going to be playing against Wes Singleton. And for common knowledge listeners, West was actually the player that inspired our Eggs episode. And he's playing Eggs tonight.
Yeah, so when I walked out there were multiple things that I said, which were not true at all. There is a blue-black player.
There are 2 blue-black.
There's 2 of them. I only saw 1.
I wasn't expecting it. I've never seen anyone play that deck here. But I guess, you know.
And then I said I would be surprised if it was, if it was, what's it called? He was actually on Eggs.
If he was, yeah, and he's
Yeah,
on
he's
Eggs.
totally
so.
on Eggs.
All right, so we've got John Kramer, and it looks like he is on Blue-Red Delver. Scred Delver. No Delvers, just Scred. Is it Scred?
There are some variants here. I do see foils
Yeah.
and dazes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, Delver of Secrets at the very bottom. So, Kramer's a great guy. Love him. Nothing against you, my man, because the last players did the same thing. And West has also done the same thing. But it drives me nuts when people don't, like, structure their deck lists. Because I do. So, like, all my creatures go, and then all my spells, like, instant sorceries, and then lands. So I'm, like, looking at this deck list, and it's like...
What's up? Just you need the deck.
Oh, yeah, Judge just came in, grabbed some deck lists. He's got to do some deck checks. But yeah, so this is just straight, is it Scred Delver? There are foils in the deck, as you pointed out. And we, on West side, Eggs,
Yeah, it's using the new card Burning Prophet, which is the colorless and a red for 1/3. I don't remember its creature types, but it gets +1/+0.
Creature type, Burning Prophet.
Irrelevant creature types, but it gets +1/+0 every time you cast a non-creature spell. So he's on a Krark-Clan Shaman, and player on the left. Who's that?
Kramer.
Kramer?
Kramer's the player on the left, yeah. John Kramer.
I'm trying really hard to say names because in real life I don't ever say anybody's name. Like,
All right, we're off to the races. Kramer just had an Evolving Wilds. West had Mountain and an Egg.
is it West with a just WESS?
West.
With a T.
Yeah. a
Okay.
T.
There's your auger. Bugless Scred. Yeah, well, there's
Yeah.
never any green in Scred.
Yeah, or black. Come on, Lanubi. All right, so there was something got dazed. Burning Prophet got dazed.
Yeah, that's a high value target right there.
Krark-Clan Shaman, that's what West's turn 1 play was.
He's definitely got a backup in hand that we can see.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 toughness, not as important as it usually is, since he's playing against a deck that is dominantly a flying deck.
Yeah.
What was that?
Preordain, I believe. I believe that was the dual deck promo, or the dual deck artwork for the Preordain. So Burning Prophet resolves.
And I'm not sure if I could set this earlier, but he gets +1/+1 when you scry 1 every time you cast a non-creature. So it could really rip through his deck, find some more of those high-powered stuff.
And just have a huge attacking creature. Which, like, isn't what this deck really cares about doing, but just having an extra angle of attack is just gravy.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah. No, we did see a Dispel. I think it was a
Which
Dispel.
spell?
Dispel.
Oh, okay. Alright, so Great Furnace.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So he just played Golem Foundry.
Okay.
Golem Foundry is 3
Yeah,
colorless mana, and whenever you cast an artifact, you put a counter on Golem Foundry. If you have 3 counters, at instant speed you can remove a counter and make a 3/3 Golem.
A counter?
3 counters.
Oh, 3 counters. Okay.
So every 3 artifact spells he plays, he can play a Golem.
Boo. Spencer's not a fan of 3/3 golems, apparently.
Really no action out of
Yeah,
Scred
not a
there.
lot.
There's been like some dazes and stuff. It's usually the more reactionary deck,
Mhm.
but now
There's a Scred to take care of the Prophet.
okay.
Why am I getting booed? Why am I getting booed? What did I do?
He showed up.
I can leave.
Please don't. The Dispel joke. He makes those jokes so much.
Every time. Anytime the word disfigure, dispel, and luckily for Sean, dismember's not in our format, so he doesn't have to put up with that every week. But yeah, I make it every time, and I won't apologize. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah,
And Sean will probably kill me on that hill. So
I still have to deal with disc crap every week.
which crap?
Disc crap.
Hey, Magic's being played. Chromatic Star for West.
So I was gonna say before you said your stupid joke.
I said my stupid joke, and then you started talking, and then Spencer booed Golem Foundry for no reason. Spencer derailed this whole thing, not me.
Okay, you've derailed me a second time.
That's my job.
He's playing a counterspell deck. Golem Foundry means even if all of his spells get countered, he's gaining value off of those.
Yeah. That is actually very relevant. Which member, Johnny?
So Johnny says, isn't Ob Nixilis' cruelty just the Pauper version of Dismember?
Well, I mean, Dismember is 1 mana and 4 life. Ob Nixilis Cruelty costs 2 and a black, so they're very different.
I would say that Snuff Out is,
Yeah, Snuff Out is probably
not-
more comparable in the utility you get out of having an efficient spell.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ob Nixilis Cruelty is very close to identical to Dismember
Effect wise, yeah.
when you look at looking at the face value of the card. But for Pauper, yeah, I agree. Snuff Out. When the important thing about Dismember is that it's efficient, and that's what Snuff Out is so great about.
So here's a little bit of an interesting thing. He's holding on to his Krark Clan Shaman. This fairy could have turned into what's it called? A ninja.
Mm-hmm.
He could have killed the ninja as well,
Yeah.
but he's just holding on to this and just.
Well, the other big thing that the Shaman is doing is it's turning off Spell Surge Sprite.
That's true. That's super true. Well, actually, I take all of that back. Krark Clan Shaman is only non-flying creatures.
Oh, this card doesn't do anything except turn off Ninja.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Here we are thinking we're so smart.
Yeah. Okay. So
No, Wes is just probably playing around Ninja the Deep Hours. So
he did already get an activation off of
yeah, he
his
did.
Golem
And a
Foundry.
lightning, and he got a card out of it too. Like that sucked up an entire lightning bolt.
He's now traded 1-for-1 with him with this card, and he's got a 4/4. He did play Mirror Enforcer, and he's just passing the turn. Spell Stutter Sprite comes in instant speed, so he played around that beautifully. Of like he didn't play anything that could have gotten spell stuttered.
Yeah,
and
but
he
he
cast it.
had multiple spells in his hand that could have been cast. So here he is in for 2. Here comes the Ninja, and I think that we will see an activation from the Krark Clan Shaman.
Yeah, he doesn't have that many things to sacrifice. He has the Chromatic Star, which is the obvious one. Wait, what just happened there? Okay, he paid a mana into his sphere, drew a card off of it, and then Galvanic Blasted it.
Ooh.
So
And got punished there by the Spell Stutter Sprite.
Yep, second Spell Stutter Sprite in his hand. Deciding not to go with Krark Clan activations.
Yeah. So what do you think you do in that situation? Do you play around the second Spell Stutter Sprite if you're West, or do you just activate the Shaman and just deal with that creature? Because what else is the Shaman doing for you in this position if it's not killing Ninja the Deep Hours?
I'm not sure what it's doing, but the thing is, the cards that it's sacrificing are he would have to sacrifice a land card, and he's
Sure.
on 3.
Yeah, he'd have to sacrifice 2 of his artifacts. So maybe that's just what it is. You can't lose the resources.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
That kind of seems like a card that's going to be sideboarded out, if you're asking me.
Probably.
So-
And he does have this Mirror Enforcer, so the Ninja's really only getting in 1 hit.
That's true, yeah. So
He's
it's-
got Mirror Enforcer, and it looks like he has another Burning Prophet if he decides to play that too, which it looks like he's going to.
So he's just cycling 1 mana into a card and then doing it again, just going to get shorthand here, I suppose?
Well, he picked up the Great Furnace too, so I'm curious
Yeah.
if he's wiping the
Oh,
board.
he is.
Yeah, he's just wiping the board.
Okay, so going to be drawing...
1 card from the Chromatic Star.
Yep.
Picked up a Darksteel Citadel. And there's the Burning Prophet off the floating mana that he had from sacrificing the artifacts.
And Golem Foundry is only when you cast artifacts. It's not when they enter. So better and
Yeah.
worse in some ways.
Interesting though that there was no attack from the Mirror Enforcer. Are we sure that's a Mirror Enforcer? It is a Mirror Enforcer, yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty sure.
Yeah, so it's interesting that he decided not to attack there.
Quick turn by the Spread Delver player.
Yeah, just attack for 2, play the fairy.
Yep.
And now here's a big attack from West for 5.
I don't want to be focusing on any player too much, but it seems very much like the Eggs player is doing the most things.
Yeah. And there's another Krark Clan Shaman.
Nope.
I hate saying Krark Clan anything.
It's pretty difficult. Not an artifact, so it's not going to trigger Burning Prophet or his Great
And
Furnace.
it looks like West is starting to run out of gas. But the only thing is, his two creatures represent a significantly faster clock than Kramer's.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a Galvanic Blast. That's gonna pump up the Shaman and give him a Scry.
So
Or the Prophet, sorry. But it looks like Dispel, Hydroblast. Oh, no, something. No, just another Spell Surge, right?
he goes ahead with the Scry before, I think, Spellstutter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he got the Scry. Now he's coming in for 6/7. Taking 3, falling down to 11. But yeah, right now, this Murn Enforcer, like, it's just gonna race so much faster than these little flyers.
Yeah.
And especially, you've always got to respect that if he just, like, you know, draws an egg into an egg, the Burning Prophet can represent a huge clock too.
Yeah, it's very easy to block, though, in a deck with a lot of creatures. I mean...
Yeah, but not when you're attacking with your creatures trying to race.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a one-sided, I don't know, like the Abyss.
Abyss,
Like,
that's the word.
like West is just abyssing Kramer, unless Kramer's attacking.
Which
I think he should be attacking because he can find Lightning Bolt, right?
Oh, yeah.
And this is exactly, West is doing exactly what I was talking about. He's just now looping artifacts into each other. So there's the counterspell for the Pyrite Spellbomb, but that's...
There's a Dispel, so
that Prophet is now a 4-powered creature, so that's 4, 8, 9.
4. Starts at 1 and then +1/+2.
He's cast 3 spells.
Has he?
He cast Sphere into Pyrite Spellbomb into Dispel.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the Sphere.
Yeah, and then that resolves, takes out one of those creatures. Okay, and then in with everything. I think that West just had lethal if he spellbombed Kramer's face.
That...
Yeah, he did. He just
That's
had lethal.
true. A lot of pressure here,
Yeah.
so no... Yeah.
That's alright, though.
So he could lose here. That's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, it could just be attack for 2, Lightning Bolt you.
Yeah.
Wow, this is like so intense. Like, what's gonna happen?
Very down to the wire. I'm just watching. I'm just like...
Oh my gosh. If Kramer's slow rolling the Lightning Bolt, man, I'd be so mad at him. Just show it to him.
Sorry, everyone. I'm thirsty.
Let's see what he's got. All right, big draw step for John Kramer.
Da-da.
And I guess we're going to know exactly what happens. If he turns his creature sideways, that could mean just game over. Ninja?
Oh, another chance at that Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, it looks like that was game over. So West picks up game 1. Very tight.
Oh my gosh.
And I think the Burning Prophet kind of made all the difference there. That creature got in a ton of damage.
Yeah, plus all the scries.
Plus all the scries filtering through West's deck, just, you know, making his draws all the more potent.
And making my card selections for our spoiler episode all the better.
Yeah. Was
that-
Burning Prophet not on mine?
Originally, I think it was at your number 2, and you had Obnixilus's
Cruelty at number 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I just remembered I had that Amass bounce spell on mine, and then after I realized it wasn't instant, I took it off my list.
you put in like the Strix, and then you later switched it again for something else.
Yeah, I kept switching my number 5 because I couldn't figure it out. Anyway, so going to the sideboards. So from Kramer's side, we've got 1 Echoing Truth, 1 Magma Spray, or is that 2? 2 Magma Spray, 2 Swirling Sandstorm, 2 Counterspells, 2 Electrickery, 1 Relic of Progenitus, 3 Pyroblast, 3 Stormbound Geist.
So no Gorilla Shaman.
Yeah. No artifact hate really of any kind. And the Electrickery is not very good in this matchup. Yeah, really not a lot. Maybe you look at Swirling Sandstorms as a way to deal with his big toughness creatures.
Swirling Sandstorm, I think, does go in if you can take out a couple of those golem tokens
Mhm.
and
And
the
like
Burning
a
Prophet
and a
and
Mirror
the Mirror
Enforcer.
Enforcer.
That
There's-
seems great.
Yeah, you can get 4-for-1s easily with that card. Let's bring that in. And then I would also probably say Counterspell.
Yeah, just additional ways to protect yourself.
There's an argument for Echoing Truth if he thinks that there's going to be a lot of golems out there.
Okay. And looking at West's sideboard, he's got 1 Welding Jar in addition to the 1 in the main deck, 2 Dispels, 2 Hydroblasts, 2 Power Blasts, 2 Electricity, 2 Relic of Progenitus, 2 Sky Shaper, and 2 Scrapyard Salvo.
The heck is a Sky Shaper? To the internet. But other than that, early order to see Casmina's Transmutation in Mono Blue Delver today. Yeah, we were saying that was good. Didn't make our top 5, but maybe that should have. That has a real chance.
Sky Shaper, 2 generic mana. Sacrifice Sky Shaper. All creatures you control gain flight until the end of turn. What is that for?
To just hit them with a bunch of huge oracles, I guess. And a bunch of golems.
All right. So, what's coming in on West side? The Welding Jar, the Dispels.
Electricities are
Electricities are
reasonable.
probably really good.
Probably not bringing in the Scrapyard Salvos. The Pyroblast Hydroblasts are kind of what I'm looking at. I think Pyroblasts to protect key combo pieces.
From their counter spells, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's coming out though? Because this deck is kind of. It's one of those decks where it sort of needs its pieces.
Yeah. The Welding Jar, depending on how much he knows about his opponent's sideboard, should come out. Like, with full knowledge, you take out that Welding Jar because you know that there's not any, like,
Mass.
smash to smithereens or anything like that.
Okay.
And then, what else are we looking at here? Oh, you're taking out the Krark Clan Shamans.
Oh, right. So, 4 Krark Clan Shamans. Alright, that's easy. That's a lot of slots.
So I think just the Shamans is probably what we're going to see coming out. And then bring in 4 sideboard cards.
Yeah.
Probably Pyroblast, Electricities.
Maybe the Aether Spellbombs or something that can come out too.
Oh, yeah.
Those seem relatively weak unless you're. I mean, they're obviously just so good against Blue-Black Delver, but against Scred Delver, you really don't ever want to bounce their creatures.
Yeah, because they all have Enter the Battlefield effects.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're bouncing like a flip Delver of Secrets.
That was something when we were trying to figure out if Mono Blue or Scred Delver was favored in that matchup. That we found is that Mono Blue had to run a lot of bounce spells against that deck that just is like, K bounce my creatures.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, which is why we also feel that Mono Blue has a better Blue-Black matchup.
Yeah.
The bounce spells are actually really good, whereas against Scred Delver, they're really mediocre.
And I mean, this most recent month, we've seen Blue Red Delver come back. It's been gone for pretty much the whole year, and for the first month, we've seen it coming back. But up until then, it was just Mono Blue Delver dominating. Okay, so we have some hands here.
Both players looking at 7, and they're keeping 7. So Snow Covered Island pass from Jonathan Kramer.
A turn 1 Pyrite Spellbomb. Okay, let's see what this is.
Terrarium.
Okay. But I was going to say, a turn 1 Pyrite Spellbomb can protect all of your stuff from the first Spellstutter Sprite.
That's true.
So that's usually a pretty good turn 1 play. I think he has a good reason for wanting maybe discolored mana.
Mm-hmm. Play Terrarium. Start to get things rolling a little bit. It's an end-step Brainstorm for Kramer. You're going to put 3 cards back, 2 cards back, draw a card. Snow-Covered Island. Augur Bolus. Yep, there it is.
And this is guaranteed hit. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed hit. It's going to clear that other card off the top of your library. It looks like we
Was that a complete whiff?
whiffed. I wonder if he was just really land flooded and just had to put a bunch of lands back on top, and
Huh.
if he found something.
I would think if you had any instants or sorceries,
Yeah,
like,
you.
if I was on the egg side of the table, I would just be like, there are no instants or sorceries at all on my opponent's side, unless they just played weird. Because I would think.
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't end step brainstorm. They don't know.
It really could just be that he was land flooded and wanted to get a land out of his hand. You know, because you put 2 cards back and then you have a draw step. He draws that card. And then the last card on his library is the land that he's trying to clear away, and you're just hoping that the next 2 cards or something.
Oh, that's true.
You know, and you clear away one of those extra lands. So I'm going to assume that maybe he was a little land flooded there and was just trying to increase the quality of his hand with his brainstorm, knowing that he was going to clear away 1 land with Augur on the next turn.
You've cast so many more augurs than I have.
And brainstorms. Funnily enough, I'm still probably no better at it than you are.
Boom, there's a ninja, and boom,
Right
it gets
into
bombed.
the spell bomb.
That spell bomb is amazing against this deck, where 2 toughness is
Yeah.
pretty much all you've got. You got those
With the
augurs.
exception of the augurs, but
Who cares?
yeah. And I kind of like Kramer just running it into the spell bomb like that, because it opens up your spell search sprites in the future. It makes your insectile aberrations better, which are the better clock anyway. I mean, this Ninja of the Deep Hours can get in 1 hit, and then it gets brick walled really quickly. So I kind of like just saying, I'm going to trade my Augur for your spell bomb, or sorry, I'm going to trade my Ninja for your spell bomb, and then I'm going to have this Augur Bolus again for later.
Yeah, and that's another trigger.
Yeah.
Like, if he's land flooded, that's extra action.
Oof. Counterspell for the Mirror Enforcer. West's got the, well, he's got to tap red mana for that. There you go. he heard me, evidently. So end step, Kramer's just going to sacrifice his Evolving Wilds. Ooh, I wonder if it's going to be a snow permanent. It is. Oh. Wonder if he's got a Scred. Let's see it, Scred. End step, Scred that Mirror Enforcer.
If he has anything to protect it with, he might want to wait to untap, if in case there's like a dispel or anything on the other side of the table.
that's true. That's true. Maybe you wait for the untap.
Don't be too hasty.
See, that's my problem, is I would have just fired it right off. Alright. Another brainstorm.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up for rock and roll.
Yeah! I can't decide if I love or hate the fact that like Kramer plays his Scred deck like it's Dredge.
Well, at least the
Just-
lands are in the back.
Just graveyard, just bruh! I can't decide if I love it or if it's like...
He doesn't plan on having very many permanents in play, apparently. We're not making fun of you, dude. We're just making a joke. We got in trouble at the last place we commentated for because...
Oh, well, that's because I used to, like, dog people for their card choices. Like,
That's true.
why is he playing Modern Masters Tarmogoyfs when he should be playing Future Sight Tarmogoyfs?
It was kind of bad. Okay, his land is... His graveyard's back into a nice, neat pile, and we can go back to commentating on the real game.
No, that's copyrighted, Johnny. That's common knowledge.
No, like, there's not an O.
Oh,
They
it's
spell it
common.
different.
It's commentary, not commentary. Yeah, that's also common knowledge.
I think Johnny missed the part at the start of this where we said no free advertising.
Yeah, get out of here, Johnny. You're fired.
Okay, so more lands.
A lightning bolt
Boom, end step, lightning bolt.
to finish off. Oh, so he chumped with the Augur Bolus, lightning bolt to finish off the Mirror Enforcer.
It wasn't doing anything else.
Which, you know, these exchanges favor Kramer. So far, he's done a lot of one-for-one trading. The Augur Bolus got him a card. Should have gotten him 2 cards, but he whiffed, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But it also helped improve the quality of his hand, assumingly. Helped him clear off his brainstorm. And here's another Augur Bolus.
Yeah.
So this is sort of just... And there's a gush. So now I think this game's probably just, like, in the bag. You know, this is exactly what these Delver decks want to do. They want to trade one-for-one with you when they can. They want to pull ahead of you when they can. And then they're going to cast a gush when you're out of resources. And now they're just so far ahead of you. So we've got Wes Singleton playing against Jonathan Kramer. West is on his Eggs deck. Dr. Einstein. 99. Sorry, I'm blind.
The board gets a little bit flooded with fairies here. There's a Burning Prophet card from War of the Spark.
Yep.
Everybody's excited to see that. Filter.
Mentat? MT Mentat? Is that the name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're definitely, in the future, if this happens again, yeah, we're definitely going to look at a lot of other things. This was actually kind of spur of the moment. Oasis announced the Invitational, and Spencer was just like, why aren't the Common Knowledge guys commentating this? And the owner of Oasis Games was like, bring them in? So this was all kind of last minute spur of the moment. We kind of just got everything together as quickly as we could for you guys. So we do apologize that things aren't completely up to the standard we want, but hopefully if we can do this again in the future, we've got a lot of time where we can really make this a nice stream for everyone.
There's a Golem Foundry that has a really slim chance of it. Really slim chance of it actually resolving. But
Johnny says we used a camera from 1998. I don't actually know if that's true, but yeah, that's our excuse.
Okay.
Our camera's from 1998, so we're sorry.
Thanks for the insult, and that's the last of your comments we'll ever read. Okay. We got a bit of a stack going on here, maybe?
I have no idea. I've been reading the chat. It looks like there's a Galvanic Blast, there's a Counter Spell.
And I think the Golem Foundry still has
Okay,
that.
so the Spellstutter Sprite came down to the Golem Foundry. The Galvanic Blast is targeting the Spellstutter Sprite, the Counter Spell is targeting the Galvanic Blast.
And we see him lose that fight. That's kind of what we're expecting to happen.
Hey, you know you've made it big on the internet when you're getting insulting comments. We made it! Sean, we're there! This is the big leagues!
But yeah, like after a gush happens, Fairy Miscreants are getting value.
So that was a big Burning Prophet that just traded, or just ate up an Augur of Bolus. So Kramer seems to be really valuing his life total here. Just kind of knowing that Burning Prophet can deal so much damage. He's just more concerned about getting his value out of the Augurs and letting him soak up that damage when it can.
There's another counter spell.
Yeah.
That's not good news.
Yeah,
for the
Kramer
next
can
player.
get in for 3.
Those Augurs, you just kind of throw them away, honestly.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fine here. Because the Prophet can just accumulate so much damage so quickly.
Yeah.
You know, you're taking 3 this turn, but who knows how much damage you're taking the next turn. So especially if you've got a way that you can follow it up, like Kramer had another Augur of Bolus that he could just play and just have a stream of chump blockers, keep his life total high. He's also just got to be worried about getting Galvanic blasted out of the game.
That's true. Those do a lot of damage. So another card for him. See a Mirror Enforcer and I think 2 Galvanic Blasts in his hand. There's another card. Was that another Golden Foundry? Or it was either that or Pyrite Spellbomb. That was a Golden
It's a
Foundry.
Golden Foundry, yeah.
So
And he's got a Mirror Enforcer. So I'm wondering, which one do you value more? Do you run out the Mirror Enforcer, trying to get that counter spell, or do you run out the Golden Foundry?
I think the order is less. Well, I don't know.
Well, I think it's just the one that you want to get countered, because you know that Kramer has the counter spell. You saw it. So it's what do you think he'd counter, and can you try to bait something? Like, what do you care about more? That's the card that you should just cast second.
I think he's running out of time, and that Golden Foundry takes a bit of time to set up. He doesn't have any artifacts in his hand,
Yeah.
so I would say that
You run out the Golem Foundry. Well, Wes disagrees, and he runs out the Burning Prophet, but he's got something. Ooh, a Galvanic Blast to Kramer's face. That's going to give him a scry and a buff on the Burning Prophet, and he's probably got another follow-up to make this Prophet a 3/3.
I bet you it's another
Galvanic Blast. Jeez, 8 damage just right there.
That's what's in his hand.
Yep. Galvanic Blast number 2.
These are going face and not
Is that,
creatures or
ooh,
anything.
that's not even enough to get the counterspell out of Kramer's hand either. Alright, so Galvanic Blast goes to the face, he gets a scry.
But if it's just going face, it's not any like tangible card value. If that was pointed at a creature, maybe, but
Sure.
Most
sure.
of the
So you're
creatures
just
are-
okay. Yeah, I'll take the extra 4 damage.
yeah.
I'm not trading a card for 4 of my life points.
I think the better you are with counter spells, like the best counter spell is one you never have to cast. And he just made the decision of like, no, I was at 20, you bolted me twice, or galvanic blasted me twice, and I'm at 12 now. 12 is fine. You're not gonna just kill me from that.
Yeah. Especially if he's not even attacking now.
That's
No
a
attack
little
at
bit
all.
surprising.
I'm curious if he wants to line up a triple block on this Burning Prophet with his 1/1s. Alright, and here's the counter spell.
Yeah, and he's playing for the long game, so that is a good counter.
Yeah, so I think he's going to go for the triple block. No, he's just going to single block the Mirror Enforcer. Yeah, not attacking last turn doesn't make a lot of sense to me if you're not going to triple block the Burning Prophet. But
I'm not sure on that either, but the Delver flips to a Brainstorm.
mm-hmm.
4 mana.
Swirling Sandstorm. Oof. Okay, well, the triple block makes a lot less sense now if you've got Swirling Sandstorm in your hand.
So he's still got a Brainstorm in hand. I think he looks like he's on 1 card.
Yeah, Pyrite Spellbomb finishes off that Delver of Secrets, but West is out of gas, and Kramer's got a Brainstorm in his hand and 2 power on the board.
There's our Brainstorm.
3 cards coming and 2 going back. Yeah, and we just kind of see, like, this is what we talked about at the beginning. The Delver players find 1-for-1ing when it can, and then just slowly getting ahead. Where this far in the game, West has almost no resources available, and Kramer just has an abundance.
Yeah, and he just Brainstormed fetched, so that's definitely its best mode.
Yeah. Kramer is living his best life right now, and there's a Gush floating a blue mana. 2 new cards come in. Yeah, and I think West is probably close to packing it up.
Who won the first one again?
West.
West?
Yeah,
Okay,
so we'll be tied 1 game apiece, and there's the Ninja.
There's the Ninja. More counter spells in Delver's hand.
And Kramer hasn't made a land drop this turn either. He just elected not to. Another spell bomb. There's a Spellstutter Sprite. Take care of that spell bomb.
Shrug.
Yep.
This attack is gonna connect.
4 damage, a new card. West is on a 2-turn clock. Just gonna look at the graveyard again, make sure he knows what's going on. Probably gonna see a concession here pretty soon.
Definitely the information gathering phase of the game for him.
Yeah.
Another Ninja.
There's the Ninja.
We'll take 1 more, buddy. We've got an extra counter spell in my hand. All the cards.
Sure, yeah, that resolves. West's gonna cycle it.
I'll let you spend more mana. Why not? Don't have counter spells eating a hole in my pocket. Pyrite?
And he's just looking for cards. Alright, and that's done. All right. On to game 3. So, I mean, both players had very reasonable draws, but Kramer just got to do what Delver wants to do. He cast multiple Gushes that game, got a cantrip through his deck, got his value out of his spells where he could,
Yeah.
and just was able to slowly grind West out of resources and just pull ahead.
Man, Swirling Sandstorm.
That was huge. I think that was obviously the turning point of the game.
And it only killed 2 creatures. It gets worse than that. Like, worse or better depending on what side of the table you're on. So there's sideboard changing going on here.
Yeah.
Wonder what it could be. It's for the eggs player. Oh, okay. So you see a relic, or you see we call it Swirling Sandstorm. Relic of Progenitor starts looking way more nice.
Yeah, as well as Welding Jar.
Well, Welding Jar? Oh, to save like a Mirror Enforcer?
Yeah, just regenerate one of your creatures.
That doesn't seem too exciting to me, but maybe
No.
I'm just a curmudgeon.
Okay. I'd be okay trading my Welding Jar for his Swirling Sandstorm and keeping my 4/4. But maybe it's not as good as I think. Maybe it's just not worth a slot.
Well, I don't know. When I'm actually looking at this eggs deck, the amount of important permanents that are artifacts are basically Golden Foundry. Like, I guess Mirror Enforcer is kind of important, but I would rather have something that actually interacts, like dispels,
Sure.
hydroblasts, pyroblasts.
Okay, so maybe with no
And
mass artifact removal, you're less appealed by it. But that said, these players don't have each other's deck lists, so I mean,
True.
Wes could just assume that there's Smash to Smithereens or Mox Monkey or something running around in the sideboard.
Mox Monkey is just gonna eat your Welding Jar too.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Island on both sides, we've got Chromatic Sphere, and then we've got Preordained.
So, what do you think about this matchup from Wes being on the play? Do you think that it necessarily makes a big difference, or
I think it really does, because of all of the 2-mana counterspell effects. Like being a mana ahead so that you can play your spells and then deal with like a Spell Stutter Sprite, I think that that's important. So there's a Welding Jar and a Burning Prophet.
Yeah, so the Welding Jar is there. That could just be the one in the main deck. We don't necessarily know if he brought the second one out of the sideboard. And that seems like a pretty strong start. Burning Prophet on turn 2 with a Scry, free Scry.
But okay, so we're seeing Welding Jar here. Like, I'm not feeling great about it, but I don't know. You've been talking about it a lot, and we'll see how it plays out, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'm just not super big on it right now.
I mean, right now it's already gotten its value. Got him a free Scry.
I guess that's true. So there's a Fairing
There's a
Miscreant.
Terrarian.
Terrarian.
Scry. This just seems so powerful. Another Terrarian, Scry. You know, get that garbage out of here. Like, and in for 3.
Boom. We've got Pyroblast and what?
It looks like another egg, chromatic something. Okay, in for 2. Nope. Pyroblast you.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Set your life back to 20 West.
Did he scry? Okay, yeah. You can remember scry.
Yeah.
Another card on the bottom. He is digging. He's put 3 cards on the bottom so far.
He needs to be at 20 though. I don't know if it's going to make a big difference, but
Pops a Terrarian. Draws a Thought Cast. Counts as artifacts. Casts the Thought Cast. Scries first, and then draws 2. Like an inverse preordain.
oof. And with the extra floating mana and the other 2, here comes a Golem Foundry.
Wants that on bottom too.
Yeah, another Scry.
He knows just what he wants.
And boom, I think in for 3 again, or just 2 this time. I think it was just 2 this time. Yeah,
First
so
the
West
life totals.
fixes his life total. And
3.
yep, drops Kramer down to 14. I mean, this Burning Prophet is doing an incredible amount of work, and it probably just demands an answer as soon as possible, but Kramer's missing land. This is one of the biggest issues with Skred Delver, is that it's so hard to get its mana base online.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest things that it struggles with against aggressive decks, is they just put so much pressure on you that you can't spend your time trying to develop your mana base by cantripping and whatnot.
So he did lay down an Augur Bolas, revealed a counterspell. It might be too little too late. It can block that Burning Prophet for a turn, but just seeing how the deck has been stacked, I mean, I guess just the top card of his deck has been stacked, I think he's going to be able to continue hitting artifacts.
Yeah, I don't think that he's got any chance of slowing down at this point. I mean, he could hit a silly pocket of lands, but I'm assuming he's already scryed a lot of garbage to the bottom of his deck. His deck's got to be pretty potent at this point.
Yeah, trigger.
Yeah, trigger on the Golem Foundry, scry from the Burning Prophet.
Then he gets a card.
Yeah, and he left that card on top, so he's going to get to draw that, which I'm presuming is going to give him a, yeah, it was a star again, so another scry and another trigger and another trigger on the Golem Foundry, and just triggers.
When I played eggs, one of the biggest problems is that you hit a lot of lands because so many cards in your deck just are redraws, and Burning Prophet is just
Solving that problem
completely. I mean, it's still boltable, so I don't know if this deck is going to be like, bam, number one thing, but it's looking fantastic here.
Oh, yeah.
So we're up to 3 counters on the Golem Foundry. That means a 3/3 can come into play at any time.
Mm-hmm. And that's another nice part about the Golem Foundry too, is it can protect itself from Swirling Sandstorm. You can just mass counters on it, make him answer your Burning Prophets, your Mirror Enforcers, and then use that Golem Foundry for later.
At end step. You can end step.
Yeah,
those.
at end step.
Is Westless public?
We can make it public?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
I'll use his hard work
actually,
for publicity
you know
for
what?
me.
If you want Westless, go check out Common Knowledge,
No.
where we...
It doesn't have Burning Prophet.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, different deck list. Cool. I guess I'll read it. 4 Seat of the Synod, 4 Great Furnace, 4 Darksteel Citadel, 2 Ancient Den, 2 Mountain, 1 Island. 4 Burning Prophet, 4 Krark Clan Shaman, 4 Mirror Enforcer, 3 Golem Foundry, 4 Terrarian, 4 Chromatic Sphere, 4 Chromatic Star, 4 Pyrite Spellbomb, 2 Aether Spellbomb, 1 Dispel, 1 Welding Jar, 4 Galvanic Blast, 4 Thoughtcast for the main deck. Another thing that we can do is we can have West post his deck list, if he's willing to the Common Knowledge Facebook page. So Dr. Einstein, if you're not a member of the Common Knowledge Facebook page yet, go send a request to join it, and we'll let you in, and you can probably get that.
When we post this on YouTube, I do plan on doing like full splash screens for all of the deck lists that are shown on camera.
Oh yeah, Sean works really hard on that stuff too, So a bunch of stuff. Second Burning Prophet has joined the fray, as well as a 3/3 Golem. Here's another sphere into a 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 sphere.
Yeah.
Just a never-ending engine at this point, with 2 scries each turn, and a Mirror Enforcer. Unfortunately, the Mirror Enforcer doesn't trigger the Prophets, because it's a creature.
Oh no.
So this is a lot of damage. I mean, I'm assuming the Prophet's at least a 4 power.
And yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 lands are tapped. I'm assuming it's 4. Yeah, he took 6 damage there. No, I guess it was just 3. Well, I guess 2 of the mana came from casting the second Burning Prophet, and then he cycled a couple spheres.
Well, even if there is a board wipe that takes place or anything, another Golem can come down at any point. I think he's deciding right now whether he wants an extra 3 power on the board,
or if he just wants to play around. I mean, he is empty-handed, so the Burning Prophets might not really do anything next turn. It just depends on what West draws. So it's really just kind of a line of like, do I want the 3/3s? There's a lightning bolt pointed at the Golem. Ooh, that feels good if you're West. And now you just know that you're safe to make a 3/3. You know there's no other removal spell coming.
So he's got 8 power worth of creatures on the board. Every time he plays a spell, that goes up by 2.
9 power.
Boom! Electricaried.
That's game,
It's gotta be.
as they say in the business. Wow, West takes it down 2 games to 1 to put him to 2-0. So congratulations, 2-0.
Yeah, that was a match. I was real worried during game 2, just when things were going south real quick. There was like a couple of turns there where if I find the Electricary in my deck,
Mm-hmm.
then I can like start his board over, But like things just like got wrapped up when he had this Whirling Sandstorm, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's a card I need to worry about in this matchup. Maybe I need to put a Pyroblast or a Hydroblast in my deck, which even though I think that card's not that great against that deck because they're only playing something like 10 red spells in their deck.
Yeah.
But it worked out pretty well. He did not see very many Screds, which is pretty helpful when I'm trying to beat down with Mirror Enforcers.
I think he had 2 lightning bolts, 1 lightning bolt maybe in game 3.
Yeah, my opponent. I mean that game just did not go well for Jonathan.
Not game 3 at all.
No, he just didn't hit his lands, and that was the most nutty draw I've ever seen out of the deck. I was just like using all of my mana every turn, had total control over the top of my library. And for those who are wondering, like how we got here, I've been building kind of the whole spring. I've been building various versions of artifact decks in Pauper. And I've been just trying to see what works and what doesn't work, and I've been really impressed with one card throughout. And it's been Krark Clan Shaman.
Sure.
Because it seems to me that in Pauper, decks are mid-rangey creature decks until they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And that card is insane against anything that's trying to flood the ground.
Okay.
Like, it makes elves an unlosable matchup. It's good against slivers. It can be good against Stompy. Like,
Sure.
if you get in before the Silhana Ledgewalker gets elephant guided,
too big.
you can kill the Silhana Ledgewalker. And then it's the type of card that, like, it's a 1/1. Sometimes it blocks, and it can just, like, it's flexible enough that it gets weird value in certain situations that I'm okay main decking it.
Okay. Sure.
And then I'm really happy that it's 4 slots that I'm extremely happy to take out against all of the decks where all of a sudden counter magic is good.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been pretty great. Few of the nicher cards I'm playing, like I've got some welding jars in 75, and they're
Yeah,
partly.
that's actually a card we want to ask you about. Because
Yeah.
there was some discussion on our end. Do you bring welding jar in? Do you take it out?
I
What are
brought
you
it
doing
in
in this
there.
matchup?
I brought it in there because I don't know how much just artifact hate he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it's the type of card that puts him in a really rough situation. Like you never, when you're on the other side of the table, you never want to have to spend your card and your mana to not have an immediate effect on the board. And Welding Jar puts it in that situation where you know that right now your first Scred or your first Lightning Bolt isn't doing anything.
Right.
So that's really nice. The other thing it does is it's the only 0 in the deck, and it's the only thing that can trigger Burning Prophet the turn you play it.
On turn 2.
Yeah, which is sick.
Which we saw you do.
Yeah, that game it was awesome.
Okay, so talk to us about the Burning Prophet, because that was obviously the MVP of that game, of that round.
It's the MVP of the deck, absolutely.
Okay.
It's really just insane. So Burning Prophet, I've been playing versions of the deck with Reckless Fireweaver for a while, which is another 1 and a red 1/3, but it's whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, it deals 1 to the opponent. And so there was some debate about whether or not Reckless Fireweaver or Burning Prophet would be better in the deck. The idea is that Reckless Fireweaver gets you the damage now,
Okay.
and it also triggers off your lands, which is a lot of value that
Right.
Burning Prophet misses.
Right.
And it triggers off of any artifact creatures you're playing, but I'm only playing the 4 Mirror Enforcers.
Mm-hmm.
But then you start to think about Burning Prophet, and you're like, all right, so you might still get the damage, or they might block, which is better.
You're just gonna eat up all
Like,
the
I'm
creatures.
so happy if my opponent's just chump blocking with their Augury Bolasses,
Mm-hmm.
just because like that's a piece of value that I'm getting off the table.
Well, that's one thing that doesn't die to your electrickeries either.
Yeah, it's true. Well, the Electrickery isn't 2 of. That's in my sideboard. 100% for that matchup I just played.
Yeah.
I played against Blue Red Scred before, and it's been tricky. But if you can be a bit trickier than them, you can get them.
Trickery.
And part of the metagame that I just know was coming to this was 2 Elves decks.
Okay, sure.
And I'm keeping in all of my Krark Clan Shamans against Elves, but my Aether Spellbombs are pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take those out and put in more just Wrath your board.
Okay, sure, makes sense.
And it's just a really flexible spell. And it triggers Burning Prophet.
Yeah.
That's Scry 1 off of Burning Prophet. And sometimes you get like Scry 2. There's like so many tricky things that are going on with that card. I'm super excited to be playing it in the first big tournament where that card's legal in Pauper.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of my opponents never played against it, so they might not realize that card is kill on sight, must kill on sight.
Yeah.
But my opponents should be bolting every single Burning Prophet I play.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, thank you for coming in and talking to us.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your win.
Thank
2-0.
you.
Good
Let's
luck
hope
to
that
you.
I can. I kind of want to play all the Magic I can tonight. So I'm not really sure I'm looking for draws.
Okay, sure.
But we'll see if round 4 I am going to take a draw.
Yeah,
We'll see who else is 2-0.
Well, good luck to you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
So we've got Jake Weiss, who is on Tron. He is playing against Christine Boyd, and she is on Pestilence.
Black-white?
I guess we'll find out. It just says Pestilence, and I can't find her deck list. Black-white. Black-white Pestilence. Our favorite deck!
We've been playing that for Deck of the Month, and
for the podcast.
And nothing hurts more than being forced to play a deck.
So, notably, Christine is notorious for playing Blue-Black Alchemy at these events. And so she decided, I guess, to switch it up for tonight. But I was kind of looking forward to seeing someone die to Evankar's Justice.
Okay. Is this a duress? This is a duress. So we've got 2 Mole Drifters, Ghostly Flicker, and a Pulse of Marasa.
Yeah.
And then the Expedition map is taken. I didn't see what land.
There was an island and 2 different Tron pieces.
Okay.
Or maybe it was just 1 Tron piece and the Thornwood Falls.
So they're going to play, Thornwood Falls go up to 21.
Yeah.
This is going to be a grindy one.
Oh, yeah. Buckle up.
Another duress.
Okay, so it was just the 1 Tron piece. Did you just take the Ghostly Flicker here, or do you take Muldrifter? Because the Ghostly Flicker can come back.
Well, you can't take Mole Drifter.
Oh, you're right. Duh, it's a
So
duress.
it's between Pulse of Marasa and Ghostly Flicker. If they can land a Bajuka Bog, that really hurts.
Yeah.
That's really hurt.
All right, so a Sands Scoured Barrens. That's what it's called, right? The black-white game land? Scoured Barrens?
Yes.
Okay.
2, there's a Castigate, so RIP Tron player hand.
Yeah. So there actually are 2 different Tron lands there. I'm not sure if Jacob's drawn that tower or if it was in his hand the whole time we missed it, but he did have 2 Tron lands, so had the map not gone away, Jacob would have had turn 3 Tron. There's an Evoked Muldrifter, drawn 2 cards.
The fact that Castigate actually exiles the card is really relevant in this matchup.
Yeah, it makes me kind of wonder that if Christine had it, that might have been something nicer to duress away the Ghostly Flicker with.
Yeah.
Just to get rid of that Ghostly Flicker completely, but...
So we see a Cambria Crossroads along with a Pristine Talisman for the Pestilence deck.
And Life Total not super relevant here, though.
It's not. I mean, there's a lot going on here to get their Life Total high, but that's not an axis that the Tron player is fighting on for a while.
Yeah. So Basic Island, there's an Expedition map. Yeah, so next turn Jacob will have access to Tron.
So going up another life just to...
And with a Prophetic Prism means that he can cast one of those Muldrifters. Or he can cast the last Muldrifter in his hand.
Oh, right, yeah. Because they can use 2 of the Tron lands.
Yep. So 2 mana, gonna sack.
Of course, there's still an island at play, but...
Right. Gonna get that last Tron piece.
It's blinding us with its glory.
Alright, here's a bunch of mana and a Muldrifter.
Float 1. No mana leak for you today. Grab the 2 cards and... back.
Even days.
Sorry, I meant Mana Tithe.
Sure, yeah, because Christine can't cast either of those spells. So must have been playing around Mana Christine gaining a life off the Pristine Talisman, tapping 4, and that looks like a true name Nemesis, right?
Yeah, true name Nemesis.
Yep.
It's actually Guardian of the Guild Pact. Hey, your pizza's here.
Here you are.
Oh,
Y'all enjoy?
thank you. Now we're gonna be distracted the whole time.
Yeah.
But try to give these players the respect they deserve.
Alright, Stonehorn Dignitary comes down for Jacob.
But for the maybe those of you who aren't super familiar with our version of True Name Nemesis, the card that the Pestilence player just played is Guardian of the Guild Pact, which is a 2/3 for 4 mana that has protection from monocolor. And there's not a lot of multicolor cards in Pauper, except for like the ones that are played aren't played that often. They're
Yeah,
like
you can
fringely.
Agony Warp it, you can unmake it. Those, like Sean said, though, are cards that just aren't common. There's not really anything that the Tron player can do to interact with this, with the exception of maybe setting up a Stonehorn Dignitary lock. And this is kind of the combo here. Is this Pestilence? No, that's something different. What is that?
That looks like Pestilence to me. I see.
Oh, that, yeah, okay. I saw 2 mana tapped and then the Talisman, but that's actually an Orzhov Basilica. So that's 4 mana. So that is a Pestilence. So what this Pestilence is going to do if this resolves is Guardian of the Guild Pact has protection from monocolor. The Pestilence isn't going to kill the Guardian, meaning that Christine can just continually wipe Jacob's board and keep her creature in play.
Definitely making what we said completely untrue. Of like, life total's not that relevant. Your life total needs to be higher than your opponent's. And
With Pestilence.
yeah, and then they can just wipe the board every turn and just burn your opponent out of the game.
Also, I would like to note, Christine is playing some sweet Portal basic lands. That is my favorite basic planes, apart from the Sunflower Field Japanese APAC planes that I use, but those aren't exactly Pauper. So, Christine, kudos for using the second best planes in the game. Ooh, and there's an Edict. Probably you have to sacrifice. Oh, I thought that maybe you sacrificed the Stonehorn Dignitary to make Pestilence cost more money to wipe the board. Didn't matter.
Second Pestilence.
Double Chainer's Edict all the way.
So how much black mana does she have at this point? 2?
1, 2, 3. I think she has 3 because she's got Kabira Crossroads Plains. She played the black-white tapped land that gains life, Scoured Barrens, and then she's got Orzhov Basilica plus Swamp. So she's got 3 black sources. So that's also another reason to save Stonehorn in that spot.
Yeah, they're left with a mnemonic wall. I believe that.
Oh, there's a mnemonic wall right there. You're right.
So that is a pretty high value target.
Yeah.
It does get awkward where if they have untapped mana, you can Pestilence up to like say right before they're killed, and then if you don't have 2 extra mana, they can just flicker their guys and blank your Pestilence. If they have that extra mana, they can just keep putting extras on the stack.
Yeah.
So there is some weird stack games going on here.
What is this land that just came into play?
That is Unknown Shores, I believe. It is.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's the filter land.
It's a filter
from Battle for Zendikar Block, I think. I don't remember. Pulse of Marasa, 6 life for Jonathan and a Mole Drifter. So that's going to tie him up. Which, as we said, is important because Christine always has the option to start just activating that Pestilence just for the damage.
Yeah, it does get awkward because that Pestilence can kill the Mnemonic Wall.
Mm-hmm.
The Mnemonic Wall being in the graveyard a lot of the time makes it so that they can cast Pulse of Marasa,
Right.
get it back. So I think at some point we're
I
going to
think
see...
we've already seen 2 Pulse of Marasas, though. Jonathan just cast one and the other one got exiled from Cassiate, so I can't imagine there's a lot more pulses left in the deck.
All there has to be is a Ghostly Flicker, and they go and get
Sure.
back that, and then You have to have all
Well,
of
if
those
the mnemonic
pieces.
wall is in the graveyard, they're not ghostly flickering.
Okay, well, there's a ghostly flicker right now. Not enough black mana to stop that, so they can go get that Pulse of Marasa and ensure that they'll always be ahead on life, pretty
Right.
much.
Right.
So Tron is known kind of as...
But, I mean,
Hmm?
isn't it if Jonathan uses mnemonic wall to get back Pulse of Marasa?
Then he's down to ghostly flicker.
Oh, but it doesn't matter because he'll just pulse back the mnemonic wall to get back the ghostly flicker, and then ghostly flicker to get back the pulse. When mnemonic wall dies,
Yeah.
Marasa it back. Okay, so it pseudo never-ending loop that just requires a lot of time and mana.
Yeah, and they have a lot of time and mana. But, okay, like I was going to say, Tron is kind of known in Pauper as the control killer. Like, no matter what control deck you're playing, if somebody is just like, well, I don't care how much mana I have to pay for my spells, as long as they give me the most mana possible, that player's usually going to win. So I've heard the argument that control decks can't exist in Pauper alongside Tron as an argument for banning Tron. I'm not saying you should ban Tron. I'm just saying
Yeah.
this matchup is probably going to be hard, not unwinnable, but
Yeah.
more difficult than another matchup would be.
So this is actually, I think, a spot where maybe you do just activate the Pestilence for 3. You are ahead on life totals right now. You can get those 2 creatures off the board, and still be able to attack with your Guardian to stay ahead on life total. Yep, and there's the activation of the Pestilence.
So, as far as avenues for the Tron player actually winning the game and not just making a loop and waiting for its opponent to deck themselves, there's
There's a capsize.
not a whole lot. Yeah, there is a capsize. Capsize is pretty difficult when you're running bounce lands. That's one of her few sources of black mana.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it really awkward. The other source, I believe, is they've got a swamp and then they've got another tap land.
Yeah.
I believe he said it was Jonathan? Did I get a name right?
Yeah, Jonathan is on Tron.
Or Jacob.
Oh, sorry, Jacob.
See, this is what happens when I try to say people's names.
I think I've been calling him Jonathan. Our last match was with Jonathan, so.
Yeah, Jacob.
But now we got Jacob. Sorry, Jacob.
It's going to be impossible for me to edit that much.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. But, so Jacob,
And there's the capsize for the Pestilence.
I don't even remember what I was going to say. Jacob has a lot of mana. He might be able to capsize twice a turn, and that's when it gets really dangerous, because then your opponent can't progress.
Yeah, he's actually really close to the point where he can do that.
And there's even phases of the game where the Tron player can capsize their own, like, Mole Drifters or Mnemonic Walls for value,
Yeah.
or just make it so that there's never a combat again. Make Stonehorde Dignitary just enter the battlefield once a turn, and then just use that spare mana to try to win the game.
And there's a Diabolic Edict.
So Ghostly Flicker doesn't help you in this situation, unless you're Ghostly Flickering to go get back your Pulse and Rasa. So I guess it does.
But yeah, it looks like Jacob just chose not to Ghostly Flicker. And there's a capsize with buyback on end step, I think. It bounced the Orzhov Basilica.
They had the choice of capsizing their own Mnemonic Wall there as well.
Yeah. Just chose to capsize the land.
So definitely they're the one with all of the choices.
Yeah, and they got all the mana they need. This is probably going to be another capsize with buyback.
Yep.
Get that Pestilence out of here. While Christine doesn't have any black mana available.
So now yeah, he's down on life, but I had all the power, all of the choices.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Christina has an 8-turn clock. You know, the Tron player has time.
Camera can't even capture how much mana a Tron player can produce.
Yeah, great pizza. All right, so is that another Guardian?
Yep. Our
Okay,
two Guardians.
that speeds up the clock a little bit.
A little bit of fuzz in my
And there's the Orzhov Basilica again. Gonna put the swamp back into her hand.
Let's see, blue. This is another capsize.
I guess like one upside of the Guardian of the Guild Pact is that capsize can never answer it, right? Like, it's not like we're in a position where the Tron player can capsize their whole board away, because Christine's always going to have 4 power in play, pressuring Tron.
Yeah, but it's like the amount of turns that the Tron player has is pretty insane. So all they have to do is get into a place where the only thing they have to worry about are those Guardians of the Guild Pact,
Mm-hmm.
and then solve them then. Oh, I just remembered. Dinrova Horror totally destroys the crap out of those.
Yep, that's a gold card. Yeah, Dinrova Horror is the out here. That's what I was going to ask. I was like, is there an out?
Yeah.
Because Tron takes a long time to win the game. The Tron player could bounce all of Christine's lands, have Christine completely locked out of casting mana, but if they don't have a way to answer the Guardians, they're just going to lose because it takes so long for Tron to win the game and turn the corner. But you're right. Dinrova Horror would put a nail in this game for sure.
Do they run them? We have the lists here. That would be a good thing to look at.
I assume,
There's one?
yeah, one Dinrova Horror in the deck list. So we're trying to do a one-outer here, and yeah, they've got time. So they've got 4 turns.
There's an extra Pristine Talisman. That kind of negates a little bit of the loss of mana that they've been having to deal with since thanks to those capsizes, because they played 2 mana sources this turn. Bounce your swamp and bounce.
Probably just need to bounce the Pestilence.
Yeah.
No, just chose to bounce all the black sources. So Pestilence probably isn't doing anything. I'm assuming this is on the end step.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, and he gets to Pestilence 3 times. Yeah, so I mean, it's safe to say that Christine's probably not casting very many more spells this game. The question is now, can her Guardians get there before Jacob finds Dinrova Horror?
My money's on no, but there's a chance.
Yeah, 4 turns.
So what does this deck have in the way of instant speed spells that it can tutor for? Does it have...
It has 2 mystical teachings.
Which is why I asked a question.
Yeah. 1 forbidden alchemy.
Alchemy is a really good way to find a specific card in your deck.
Yeah.
So
But there's only 1 alchemy and there's 2 teachings. So there's not a lot.
So Jacob throws down a mnemonic wall, grabs a Pulse of Marasa out of the graveyard,
Ooh.
uses the Pulse of Marasa to grab a mnemonic wall out of the graveyard.
Now Jacob just has all the time in the world.
Yep. There's no way for the opponent to interact. They can throw down the other mnemonic wall and start a loop where they can just grab every instant or sorcery out of the graveyard that they like to. So there's the 2 mnemonic walls.
Yep. And he picks up the Ghostly Flicker. And I think at this point, if you're Christine, you just think about conceding and giving yourself time to win sideboarded games where you can bring in Graveyard Hate and anything else.
Yep. She's gonna keep going though. 4 damage from those guardians. Down to 15 again. Christine is still at 28.
And I can appreciate Christine here. Nice organized deck list. We've got spells, a space with, we've got her lands. There's a little space, the rest of her spells, everything organized nicely. So Christine has 4 Guardian of the Guild Pact.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. Drawing another one soon. I guess her window to cast one is closing here really quickly.
Well, Guardian of the Guild Pact being one of the cards that, Blue Black Delver actually fears. Like, that's a good reason to run 4 of them.
Yeah.
Not a common occurrence, though, in these deck lists.
It looks like those are the only creatures in the deck. 4 Guardians, 2 Palace Sentinels.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. 4 Pristine Talismans. Ooh, and there's Palace Sentinels. So this might be a way that Christine can kind of crawl out of this. Is to, Jacob's never going to take the Monarch from her. She's just going to have tons of time to try to draw into something. Find a Bajuka Bog.
With what mana?
Bajuka Bog doesn't cost mana.
I guess Bajuka Bog, sure. But, this just means she's probably going to be discarding twice as many cards a turn.
Sure. Yes, that's fair. There's Capsize.
That.
That's the Pestilence. She activates it for 1. She drops to 30. Jacob drops to 9. And here is another Capsize. Yep, get that swamp out of here.
These decisions as a Tron player, even though they have lots of decisions, they are difficult ones a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's, you have to decide what's important. Your spells, you do have a lot of mana, but if you're casting 12 mana worth of spells every turn, you have to choose.
It is a Ghostly Flicker. Elects not to Capsize for the 3rd time, and just decides to Ghostly Flicker, getting back the Ghostly Flicker and the Pulse of Marasa, so...
Valuing their life total.
Yeah. Any chance of racing, I think is just 100% gone. And in Jacob's position, do you think just main phase double Capsize here, just to put the 2 lands back into Christine's hand?
I'd be going for probably those Pristine Talismans. So you have 2 options of how you're going to win the game. You're going to beat them down with Mole Drifters, or you're going to let the Monarchy kill them. I guess both are pretty respectable.
Sure.
But I'm not sure where either of them stand on deck size.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, though, is the Tron deck has tutored lands a bunch of times already, and this is the 3rd Mole Drifter that has been cast. So I definitely believe that Jacob's down on deck size. So maybe you're right. The talismans, those need to get balanced so that you can actually kill Christine before you deck yourself. And then here's another Mole Drifter. Whew, that was loud.
You see where it was on the mic?
Yeah. So there's the swamp.
Stream sponsored by Coca-Cola.
No.
That's a good one, Johnny.
Sprite. And Mountain Dew.
Yeah, that's a Pepsi product.
Yeah, get out of here, Johnny.
See, no free advertising. Ah, I'm so refreshed.
Disfigure?
Say it. Which figure?
Disfigure!
So So 4 power on the side of.
And he's just going to ghostly flicker to the wall, and the mole drifter that's being targeted going to get back his ghostly. No, he.
That looks like a Marasa and a ghostly flicker.
Yeah, but didn't he target? He targeted mnemonic wall and he targeted a mole drifter. So why would he get 2 cards back from the graveyard?
No. Do whatever you want. Brandon's like, I gotta go.
I feel like I should.
By the time
do
we run
something?
all the way out
Yeah.
there, it's gonna be so much after.
I think something went wrong here. Because I can't imagine the Disfigure was targeting a mnemonic wall, right? Like it was targeting mnemonic wall and mole drifter.
I mean, it could have been targeting the mnemonic wall that blocked the Palace Sentinels.
The mnemonic wall wouldn't block the Palace Sentinels.
Why?
They are protection from
Palace
mnemonic-
Sentinels.
Oh, Palace Sentinels. But isn't the mnemonic wall a 0/5?
0/4.
Oh, it's a 0/4. Oh, okay, that could have been what happened.
Okay.
Okay, sure, you're right. All right, and that's it.
Yep, we found the Dinroba Horror.
That's game 1.
So, sideboards.
Yeah, sideboards from Christine's sides. We're looking at 2 Circle Protection Blue, 1 Circle Protection Black, 2 Castigate, 2 Nihil Spellbomb, 3 Fragmentize, 2 Circle Protection Red, 2 Standard Bearer, 1 Unmake. And on Jacob's side, we've got 2 Nihil Spellbomb, 3 Circle Protection Red, 2 Ancient Grudge, 3 Pyroblast, 2 Circle Protection Blue, 1 Hydroblast, 2 Electricry.
So I think on Christine's side, it's pretty obvious what you're sideboarding in. You want your 2 Castigates, your 2 Nihil Spellbombs, and I would say your Unmake,
Mm-hmm.
just to interact with them at instant speed. The Unmake is actually really cool sometimes in that they will target your creature with a Capsize, and you kill your own creature with something like Unmake.
Oh, and fizzle the
Yeah.
fizzle the Capsize.
That's outside of like blue, where you can actually interact with spells on the stack. That's like one of the most common ways you have to play against a Tron deck is like I've played a black deck where the only way I can interact with that spell, other than ripping that out of their hand, is playing like an instant speed, sacrifice a land, draw 2, and just hoping they target the land.
Yeah.
Anyway, they have Christine has plenty of things to take out of their deck.
Yeah, those.
They've got Dead Weight, which is just dead weight.
Yeah.
Echoing Decay, Disfigure,
Which figure?
Disfigure. Everybody's sick of it by now, I'm sure. And I think that basically that's how they're going to sideboard. As far as Tron goes, I'm sure it's going to be more complicated.
Yeah, I don't see a lot that I'm excited about.
The only thing I could think of is Nihil Spellbomb, but then when I'm looking at like what am I going to be taking out of my deck, I guess Moments Peace.
Sure.
I think 2 Nihil Spellbombs over something like 2 Moments Peace would be a pretty respectable thing. There's a Firebolt in here.
Mhm.
Firebolt isn't the most exciting thing ever.
No, not against protection and 4 power, 4 toughness creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of action from the Tron player's sideboard.
But this is already the Tron player's good matchup.
Yeah, I guess that's true. They don't really need much help here.
So we're going to see Christine on the play. And I'm definitely in the camp of Tron. Just the way that Christine's going to win this game, though, is through Pestilence. Like, having a Pestilence that can shut off your opponent's loops as well as do a whole bunch of damage is very good. The only problem is that you have to have both Guardian of the Guild Pact and Pestilence out there.
Sure.
An 8 mana combo to set up without activating it a single time is pretty slow against a deck that can get to.
Castigate.
I mean, that's how they need to start. Is lots of discarding
Looks
stuff.
like we've got 2 Tron pieces, a Thornwood Falls, a Mnemonic Wall, a Pulsar Marasa, a Mole Drifter, and a Prohibit.
Yes.
And what went? The Mole Drifter? Or the Pulse? I think the Pulse went.
Nope.
No.
That pulse is still in their hand.
What went away? I didn't see what went away. I saw something go away, but I did not see what went away.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or maybe not. Looks like... Oh, that was... The Mole Drifter was still there.
Maybe it was the Mnemonic Wall?
That would probably be the take.
Yeah, that seems fine. Just deal with the problem at its root.
Yeah.
The Ghostly Flickers, the Pulses of Marasa get a lot worse when there's no Mnemonic Wall to loop them around. So here's a Duress, and just going to prohibit the Duress, sure. Just say...
Take the worst card out of my hand.
Take the worst card here, yeah. I'll trade my Duress for your Prohibit instead of one of my other cards. So, life gained off of the Radiant Fountain, and there's another Castigate. So baited the the Prohibit with the Duress, and then followed up with the Castigate. So is that Pulsar Marasa Mnemonic Wall?
That's what I think.
And
No, that
Oh,
looks
what
more
is
like
that?
a land.
oh yeah,
Looks
it
more
could
like
just
a
be an
non-shores.
island or something.
I'm not sure. It looks more landish.
Yeah, so
Enter tapped. Oh, this is Tranquil Cove.
Tranquil Cove. Yep.
Okay. I was right that it was a land. I was way off on what it was.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, so Christine's done a really good job of picking apart the Tron player's hand. Not really any action at all. Just left with the Pulsar Marasa and nothing for it to target.
This is exactly what she wants to do.
The only thing that could make it better here is if she had a creature. If any of her 4-drop creatures in this spot would be really good.
Yeah.
I think the best would obviously be Palace Sentinel, but
Yeah.
Stonehorn Dignitary coming down, not going to do much here.
No, it's a 1/4 right now.
Yeah.
It is going to keep him caught up on life just a little bit.
Yeah. And we'll have to see what the follow-up play here. There could be an Edict.
Yeah.
And is there a Guardian? Yep, there's a Guardian.
Man, this is going perfectly according to plan for Christine.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, the clock is still incredibly slow.
Oh, of course it is.
And the Tron player just has so much time to find, draw Forbidden Alchemy, draw Mystical Teachings.
Didn't roll horror,
Yeah, there's just a lot of time left, and unfortunately, it's just hard for Christine to capitalize on this start.
But if I'm constructing what kind of scenario wins Christine the game, it's
Sure.
It's this exactly of like discard, 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 discard,
Which
Guardian
card?
of the Guild Pact, and then Pestilence. So we'll see if Pestilence comes out next. Also, stop it.
All right, in for 2.
Tickle you for 2.
I'm gonna get in there, tickle you a little bit. Oh. Okay, 2 more lives for Christine. She has played 3 Radiant Fountains this game.
Wow.
She only has 2 in play, but she's played 3 of them. And flashing back on that, yeah, this seems like a perfectly good use of your Seagate Oracle. Got you a card, ate the flashback from the Chainer's Edict.
Definitely the worst card in the deck, and happy to jump in front of literally anything.
Yep.
2.
There's Stonehorn Dignitary, number 2. No combat step for Christine this turn.
2.
Stonehorn a 1/3 or a 1/4?
1/4.
It is a 1/4. Okay.
Knight's Whisper.
Found a Chainer's Edict and another Knight's Whisper, I believe.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Shake and bake.
2. Probably gonna see the Knight's Whisper. Yep.
Yep.
Plenty of life to go down on. them. So I'll go down to 21, and
It looks like 3 froze.
connection interrupted.
Uh oh. Could they have bumped the mic outside?
I'm gonna run out there real quick.
Are you connected to the internet? There we go. Sean, the savior of the universe. All right, we're back. Cool. Hi, Firefox. Something about the thing. How did we get rid of that message? Oh, just see if you can put an X on that. There we go. All right. Oh. Okay, we're back. Sean fixed it. This is why we have him here. Not that he's better at magic or smarter than me, but he can do computers. Triple threat. Okay, so 16 to 24. Okay, I guess I lied. A lot of stuff happened. I was like, fortunately, this is a matchup where not a lot of things happen very quick. So, and it looks like things happened pretty quick. No, it looks like the same board. Just he's gained some life.
It's just turns have passed and people have attacked.
Yeah, Pulse of Marasa probably happened. Got Jacob's life total back up high.
So Christine is threatening a Nihil Spellbomb. And I know from experience that a well-timed clearing of the graveyard can actually just sink a Tron player at any moment.
And she's choosing to time it now. So fired off the spell bomb, got the card. Okay, yeah, she resolved Pestilence, she Pestilenced away the board, and then pulsed away, or Nihil Spellbombed away the creatures. There was a Pulse Marasa in there. Got an extra card, I think that's fine. Got a Pristine Talisman to help work on that life total.
There is a risky argument.
Oh, not 23, 14, there you go.
There is a risky argument for waiting until they try to interact with their graveyard to actually pop that.
You're giving, by waiting, you're giving the Tron player time to pick their spot. Instead of just saying, this is the spot, you have no graveyard now, deal with it.
Yeah.
Alright, untaps. And Christina's going to be able to turn the corner here pretty soon. At the end of this turn, their life totals are going to be even. And the Pestilence at that point is going to be able to start doing major work. Major work. I had to salute the major.
Oh, I was like, why are you saluting? And
no one can see me, but it's just like a habit.
But let's see how many black mana does she actually have access to?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. Yeah. Pay F for respects. It is a How I Met Your Mother joke, unfortunately.
That is?
Yeah, the major thing.
Oh, I thought that F to pay respects.
That's where I picked it up. I used to watch that show. I actually really liked How I Met Your Mother for like the first couple seasons.
That's not Pauper.
It's not. It's How I Met Your Mother. And then it just got really bad.
Okay.
Like really bad. Like it just got boring. Like, okay, we get it. You know, Ted's whiny, Robin's obnoxious, and Barney's a womanizer.
Okay.
Spencer says, "Shut up." That joke is great. Which is why I keep it going.
Okay, but I echo his sentiment of shut up. I just really wanted to be talking about the match, and I don't like if I was a player here, I wouldn't want like someone like off talking about something else. But since you can activate Pestilence on an end step, I think we're going to see an activation for like 5 or 6 here.
Yep, this looks
And
like a
then-
big activation.
Activate for a little bit of life,
Yep.
and then untap, immediately kill you, or just attack you to kill you.
Yep.
So not even stopping combat right now
Yeah.
would save you.
Moment's Peace does not do the trick. It's Guardian of the Guild Pack. True name Nemesis. Spencer.
It's a 2/3 True Name Nemesis that can still get hit by the normal horror.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is in this matchup. But
Yeah, and Jacob even had the Moment's Peace.
so we're 1-1 right now, and I think I'm going to stop making predictions and saying things.
Yeah, because well, so look at that. Jacob had Pulse of Maras in his hand, but the turn when Christine cracked Nihil Spellbomb, he didn't have the mana to actually cast it.
Yeah.
So by just saying you have no graveyard now, she actually eliminated that out for Jacob.
That was a fantastic play.
Yeah, really heads up on Christine's part. So while we're sideboarding, I am just going to say, the season finale, I can't remember what season it was, of How I Met Your Mother, where Ted finally hooked up with Robin on the same night that Lily dumped Marshall, is, in my opinion, one of the best episodes of television ever. It is just unfortunate that from like season 4 on, that show is just awful. Unwatchable garbage. Because like the first 2 to 3 seasons were so great.
I'm just going to repeat Johnny's joke here for the YouTube people. He says, "How I met your mother of runes." Stumbled over that one, but I think I pulled it off.
How I Met Your Mother of Runes. She came into play off an Aether Vial and ruined my life. I hope I make a lot of people upset with this next comment, but How I Met Your Mother is not as bad as Big Bang Theory.
I don't think you upset anybody.
That's probably true. No one watches that show. It's horrible.
How many seasons did How I Met Your Mother go?
Does someone have the stream pulled up on stream?
That'd be cool.
We're getting next leveled here.
Or are they just watching someone else?
No, they're watching the stream. You can see
The Oasis in the
games.
corner? And
All
they're
right.
listening to us talk about How I Met Your Mother instead of actually talking about magic.
We were talking about magic. Now they're sideboarding, and now we're talking about the stream. Okay, put that away. Stop it. Stop it. No, stop it. Jacob, you're disqualified. You're DQ. Judge.
They're just like, I just want to see the tablet on there with a tablet on it.
We can see the tablet in the tablet in the tablet in the tablet.
I agree with whoever's arms those were. It's like, get that out of here.
That was some real live Inception stuff.
Okay. I'm trying
Well-
to see what's in their hands.
I guess it compares to 2.5 Men in that 2.5 Men was also a
Expedition
television
Map
show,
is played.
but they're horrible. Both those shows are horrible.
I'm getting so many flashbacks of trying to do commentary with you. Second Tron land, we can get not natural, but we can get turn 3 Tron.
Turn 3 Tron, which, notably enough, this isn't modern, so we're not going to see Karn or anything relevant. But this Tron deck really needs colored mana. So turn 3 Tron is not as scary when there's no other maps no other like prisms in play.
Yeah, but like if you have 7 mana, you can play.
He can still play a prism and like a Muldrifter this turn.
Draw 3 cards on your turn 3.
Yeah.
And have a creature in play and another colored source. And oh my gosh. So maybe Prophetic Prism? No.
Doesn't look like there is a prophetic prism.
He's like, wait, that doesn't do anything. Okay.
There's an Unknown Shores and a pass. Yeah, that's sort of the problem with this deck is it's hard to capitalize on turn 3 Tron.
Representing a Prohibit now. So
Relevant. I don't believe Prohibit was in hand, but
no.
relevant.
Representing.
Pristine, no fear. Here's my spell bomb. You got it or you don't, and you don't.
He has what's it called? It's not Syncopate, it's the the X spell for the countering
Condescend?
condescend. I think they had condescend as the last card in their hand.
It just kind of decided that no.
Well, Christine left a mana open.
Wasn't Condescend the X spell?
Yeah,
And Jacob had more than enough mana to Condescend.
he had 2 lands and a filter land, so that's
Oh,
they could
yeah,
basically
you're right.
play it as a daze.
You're right.
But
Yeah.
so we do see a Mole Drifter come down, and there are awkward turns where you're playing like say it's Chainer's Edict. It could be that you're just using Chainer's Edict to enable a Pulse of Marasa,
Mm-hmm.
and there are very awkward plays like that all the time.
Yeah. Especially now that if Christine wants to use her mana, she has to tap out of the Spellbomb. I mean, which isn't like horrible. It just means you're not going to get the card out of the Spellbomb,
Yeah.
but decides instead to just pass.
I was going to see Seagate Oracle, top 2 here. Either a Mole Drifter or something else. Decides to take the Mole Drifter.
I think it was Muldrifter Land. It looks like I see.
That was like another unknown choice.
Yeah. I felt like I saw Prophetic Prism in his hand too.
Prophetic Prism. It's weird how good Prophetic Prism is sometimes.
Yeah, and this is going to get condescended.
Yes.
Yep.
So Scry 2 here is gravy to your just nope spell.
Christine going to pick up that Radiant Fountain for
That's-
the second time in this game.
That's a pretty risky move to play a Pal Sentinels like that. Because there's a good chance that they're just going to remove your Pal Sentinels hidden with Seagate Oracle,
Yeah.
and then you're just
You're in
giving your
a lot
opponent
of
the
trouble.
Monarch. And then they just sculpt a perfect hand every turn.
Yeah.
So
This
five
game
mana.
feels like it's a much worse position for Christine than Game 2 was.
Yeah, because she didn't play just discard into discard into discard.
Yeah.
The Toronto player got off the ground relatively quickly, and now they're just gonna sit at 7 cards until Christine has none. But we'll see.
Just drew a Guardian.
That's step 1.
Yeah.
A little shrug there. I guess. I don't know.
Oh.
Scoop.
She just decides, yeah, I'm done.
Wow.
I've seen enough. I think, actually, potentially the round was just coming to an end, and Christine just said, I'm sure you're going to win this round, so instead of taking a draw, you have the win.
It could have been Lonzo hard press. Feature ending when going to turns.
Yeah, so it
call
was
or
going
draw.
to turns. Oh, they just called it a draw because neither player would win in 5 turns. Okay, so Christine didn't concede. It was both players just said, look, let's not waste the 5 turns playing. None of us can win. We're at a draw. So
yeah, that's unfortunate.
Okay, yeah, probably not going to have time to get a player in here for the interview since this round did go pretty long.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back to us.
Who did we bring in? The winner?
Both of them.
Oh, I gotta get off of the camera.
Hey everybody, it's our face. So let's talk about How I Met Your Mother. I'm kidding. I'm done talking about that show.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up studio mode so we can watch for the next game. But
Yeah. Well, no. Let us know in the Discord. Which cord? Discord. Look, they're typing in the Discord. Round ending. Oh, wow. Up to date on the action live.
just told them we're ready.
So honestly, like, that was kind of what I was expecting to see out of this matchup. Neither deck can particularly win quickly. Draws are just sort of what to expect.
Yeah, in paper, for sure. Online, where you're forced to have.
Online, the clock is a good win condition for either of the decks.
Yeah.
I think that if you're the black-white deck, you just F6 and let Tron just run its clock out when they get to that point where I'm locked, I can't do anything, but you're still going to use 4 minutes of your clock to win.
It's better. I think the clock is a better. The clock favors white black.
Yeah, definitely.
But the decks actually favor Tron.
Yeah, Tron is favored in the matchup, but white-black can always make the game go long enough that Tron just can't kill them.
I would say the people online are typically good enough and fast enough, if you're playing at least in a competitive league, that you're not going to rely on that, and that most of the time it's going to be decided by who's actually better, and who's better or has the more favored deck.
Oh, thanks, Johnny.
It's better that you can actually talk again. He was insulting us before.
Yeah, I know.
I think he's trying to make up for it. We love you, Johnny. This is all getting cut out of YouTube.
All the fun stuff.
Are you having fun?
So much fun. We're going to talk about 3 TV shows that I hate. We got to annoy Sean. I got to make a bunch of witch member, dismember jokes. We got to troll Spencer a bit, trolling Johnny a bit, and we're watching Pauper.
No, we're not.
We were.
We were.
I mean, you can't always get what you want.
The YouTube people can because they cut out all of the rest.
The magic of post.
Yeah.
The magic of the cutting room floor.
Instead of actually seeing, like, who knows if the thing's going to come back up when it goes down. It's just like, there were technical issues. Boom.
Don't think your hearts can save you, Johnny.
His hearts will go on,
Titanic.
So it says, next round about to start, our last round.
Only 3 rounds? Oh, that was round. This is round 4.
This is round 4.
Sorry.
That's enough for me.
Oh yeah, it's bedtime for sure. So, who's excited about Detective Pikachu?
Everybody.
Oh my gosh. That movie has no business looking as good as it looks. Like, when I first saw that they were doing a Detective Pikachu film, my thought was that movie's going to be horrible and I'm going to love it. But the more I see about this movie, the more I'm like, that movie looks amazing and I'm going to love it. Like, that movie just has no business looking good.
All of those feelings you need to start pointing towards Sonic.
The teeth. Oh, the teeth.
Supposedly they're fixing it.
Yeah, I heard that they were after the backlash on it.
I'm just looking through the decks that we haven't seen yet. There are Elves decks, there's the Blue-Black Delver decks, there's Mono-Black Control list.
Yeah, and actually the Blue-Black Delver decks both took losses in round 1. Blue-Black Delver, I saw, they were actually just sitting right next to each other playing. Blue-Black Delver lost to Elves in round 1. The Elf player had Ulamog's Crushers. And we got to see the Elf player resolve...
And Rancors.
And Rancors, yeah. We got to see the Elf player resolve Ulamog's Crusher and just... boom. Just destroy the Blue-Black
The
player.
first turn it came down, it prevented 2 Gurmag Anglers from attacking.
Yeah.
Then it attacked and took out 2 islands.
Yeah, 2 islands and put the Delver player to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it was
then,
powerful.
And then they untapped and they just had Timberwatch Elf, an Ulamog's Crusher,
And a bunch of elves.
A Kyrian Ranger to untap their Timberwatch Elf, and he just had to scoop it up.
Yeah, and the other blue-black player lost to Boros Monarch.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, there is a Boros Monarch in here. There's the other blue-black. There's the tribal deck. So, we did see a good portion of what is here. And I think we're just waiting on the names.
Yeah, the players are seated, they're shuffling up. getting ready to go. Oh, they're typing. They'll get us the names.
They're so good about that.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, big shout out to the Oasis Games staff. They've been amazing tonight, making sure that just doing everything they can to make sure the stream runs smoothly. So we've got Casey Snow. He's playing elves. And we've got Chris.
Who didn't fill out their name?
So it looks like they're going to bring us the list. Casey Snow, it sounds like, was maybe late.
Oh, John.
Chris something. Chris is on Boros. I recognize his deck from earlier.
Who was the other person? Oh, okay.
Casey Snow, they're bringing us the deck list right now. So, okay, yeah, and you can go ahead and let the players know they can start whenever they're ready.
The feature players?
Yes,
Cool.
we're ready to go. All right, so we're gonna leave our ugly mugs behind and get back to the action here at Oasis Games, Salt Lake City.
That's not weird.
Why didn't it work? Oh, gameplay. What do I do? Fix it! I don't know what to do!
Give me,
Oh!
give me the computer.
Oh!
Okay, yeah. So we've got Casey on elves, and then
Elfdrazi is the name of the deck list.
oh my gosh, and then Chris Bacon on Monarch.
Yeah.
I feel like I should know who's favorite here.
I think it's the Monarch player. They've got tons of removal. Elves is not difficult when you've got pinpoint removal spells. You don't need to deal with every creature. You just need to deal with the ones that are gonna do something. Priest of Titania, Timberwatch Elf, Well-Wishers sometimes are the ones you want to look at. You really
Sometimes
don't
you can
need
even
to be...
leave those priests.
Sometimes you can just leave the priest behind because they just have no gas. All the mana and nothing to do with it.
Gas. Gotta step on the gas.
Gas-powered stick. Never runs out of gas.
There's also, they have Journey to Nowheres in case a stray Ulamog, Ulamog's Crusher gets out.
So this is called Elfdrazi. Where are the Elfdrazi? There are no Eldrazi on this deck list. He's calling this deck Elfdrazi. Did he just forget? Is this like a less than 60 card deck list? He just forgot to write them down?
There's a problem with Casey's deck, so I'll have to steal that.
Okay.
We were noticing.
We were maybe just alluding to there being some sort of issue. Shawnee, honestly, that sounds like something Casey would do. It looks like it is something Casey
They're just
did.
big enough to be Eldrazi, so we call it Elfdrazi, okay?
Alright, well, we're going to be here for a minute until they get that sorted out.
What?
So we can see the other side, so we know when they're going, but we don't have to make the...
studio.
Oh,
And then you do this for the left one.
wow, that's surprisingly simple.
And then you do transition.
Definitely not going to be able to figure out how to do this, though.
Well, if you just click the mouse right now, it'll transition.
Oh no, that's. Whew. Oh boy, that's a lot of work.
Just name your deck list, just like. I'm running out of slivers. It's just like straight up a burn
Something's
deck bill.
happening. Ooh, are they playing rock paper scissors to see who goes first?
That's what they did last time.
I'll let you do it. I'd probably hit stop recording by mistake or
Oh, that
something.
would be terrible.
Okay, so it looks like we're playing some rock paper scissors, or is this Pokemon? Are they going to try to Gary each other? I just can't tell.
We're blinded.
Ugh. So I know. Oh, they are. That was a Squirtle. Yeah. So Chris must have picked the Charmander. He Gary'd him. Oh, they're playing best 2 out of 3. Of course. Why not?
I hope, is it just all Pokemon?
I have no idea what that was. That looked like something. What the crowd? What is going on? Are they just playing games while they wait for Casey's deck to get sorted out?
Started doing like fatty cake.
Oh, goodness sakes.
I
Alright,
swear,
well,
if
this
you go
is-
back to my face again.
This is just entertaining. We're gonna keep watching this. Alright, let's see. Ooh, there's a red thing, and that looks like something. I don't know.
So definitely can't turn down the brightness since it's using the website to stream it, and I can't adjust the camera settings because they're out there.
Can you walk out there and adjust the camera settings?
No,
Oh, okay.
because I usually adjust them in OBS,
Ah.
and I would have to adjust them like in the webcam driver program thing,
Sure.
and I don't want to do that. I don't even know what I would do. Watch them play a game of Yu-Gi-Oh while waiting.
I think that Casey just forgot to write down the Ulamog's Crushers in the deck list.
I was in the middle of counting. but
Yeah.
I didn't get there. That's his flex slot. Between games, he just switches out whatever, you know. I'm kidding.
So, Chris's deck, though, is pretty stock here. We've got 4 Prism, 4 Strands, 4 Core Skyfisher, 3 Palace Sentinels, 2 Battle Screech, 4 Glinthawk, 4 Thraben Inspector, 1 Mountain, 4 Windswept Crag, 4 Ancient Den, 2 Secluded Steppe, 3 Great Furnace, 2 Radiant Fountain, 3 Boros Garrison, 2 Plains, 1 Faithless Looting, 3 Alchemist Vial, 4 Bolt, 4 Galvanic Blast, 4 Journey to Nowhere. So, just that right there, 12 removal spells, not to mention the Alchemist Vials to gain time. His creatures are typically big enough to handle stuff on the ground. Really, the only thing Casey's afraid of, like, I gotta just say, are the Well-Wishers and the, now we're playing Yachts. Or no, we're playing, I can't remember what this dice game is called. But basically you have to roll, I think you have to roll 3, 4, 5. And then after that, everything you roll is points. So you get 3 rolls. So it looks like Casey's got his setup. And then you roll for your points with your other 2 dice. And you can keep any number of dice that you want and roll dice in the future. Yeah, it's a fun game. We used to play it on pre-release nights before the pre-release would start in between rounds. We would play it for bulk rares. So every round we would throw a bulk rare into the pot, and then whoever won would take the bulk rare. But if any player rolled a full house or a straight, the round starts over, and everyone throws a bulk rare in the pot. So sometimes we'd get like 20 or 30 bulk rares into the pot before someone would win and just get all the bulk rares.
Magic players are so funny sometimes.
Oh my gosh, the dice exploded. Oh yeah, Johnny, we used to play Liar's Dice. We had a player, he just had a huge bag of dice that he would bring, and we would play games of Liar's Dice with like 10 people. Oh, it was a blast. Okay, so I think we've got deck list back. Alright, so we've got the deck list back. Players are shuffling up and ready to start game 1.
What do you think of Ulamog's Crushers right now in the meta?
They're big and they die to snuff out.
Yeah.
Sorry for the delay, guys. They're getting started right now.
Sure.
That's fine.
Anything notable?
It all comes out in
about-
post.
Just Casey can't count.
Okay. That's fair.
You'll note that doesn't add up to 60.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking. Okay.
Is there still Ulamog's Crushers on there?
No, there's still not anything else written down there.
Alright. I don't know what's going on with that.
So they didn't fix the deck list either. I hope that Casey's not even playing Ulamog's Crusher. What other Eldrazi are... Oh, Wretched Griff. He could be playing Wretched Griff
You could be playing the green one.
because he has Manamorphose in his deck.
It-
So he
it-
could cast Wretched Griffs.
It of the Horde Swarm.
Okay.
You could be playing what's it? Nest Invader.
Ooh. So, Casey Snow on some form of Eldrazi deck with who knows what kind of Eldrazi. I guess what I was asking is, I was curious if there was a game loss involved. Last time they did the Invitational, they did say that this was competitive REL.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't seem that that reveals his hand of no lands to land grant to go get a land.
Pass his turn. So now he's vomited everything.
And this is a decent start for the elf player. See, the thing that does make things hard when you are on the Boros side, I do say I think the Boros player is favored because they do have a lot of removal. They do have really high toughness creatures to block with. But they have no way to interact with Distant Melody or Lead the Stampede coming off the top of the deck, which Casey is actually playing 4 Distant Melodies and 3 Lead the Stampedes. So a lot of them there. And he's going to be able to... And there it is! 1, 2, 3, 4 cards coming. And another Distant Melody was in those 4 cards!
Can't cast it this turn, but that's coming, and it's going to be more painful than this one was.
It's coming, and he's going to return a land to his hand, untap this Llanowar Elf, tap for a bunch of mana, Devoted Druid. Interesting. So Devoted Druid is a 0/2 that you tap it for green mana, and you can untap it by putting a -1/-1 counter on it. So just a way to generate a lot of fast mana.
If you have a Timberwatch Elf, for a fleeting 1 turn, you can turn that into
A lot of green mana.
exactly as much as a Priest of Titania would be.
One more, right?
Oh, I guess. Sure.
That's kind of cool. Also, kind of flexing on us with his like $12 common.
It's not about the cost.
It's not about the cost.
Trying to figure out the app. I think there's been like a small learning curve with that app with everybody. It's just like, why aren't there just pluses and minuses next to the numbers? You gotta tap the number and then hit.
Alright, so let's see what's going on here. Another Lightning Bolt is going to take care of Devoted Druid. Galvanic Blast, probably going to take care of a Birchlore Ranger. Just trying to eliminate as much colored mana as he can. That's one way that you can close the elf player off of Distant Melody, but I don't think it's going to matter in time. Here's Manamorphose.
Why? I wasn't expecting a Manamorphose.
Well, I already said it's in the deck list.
I didn't listen to you.
Sucks to suck. Here comes Distant Melody. 5 cards coming.
And then if you drew 1 off of Manamorphose already,
He's seen a lot of cards here. 1 mana. Another Nettle Sentinel. Should have untapped your Nettle Sentinels.
Oh, how many has he got? 1?
2, 3. Oh, those are Llanowar elves. Elvish mystics. I'm so stupid.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Those are Elvish mystics. Okay, Galvanic Blast takes care of the Nettle Sentinel.
Yeah, when he's just 1 for 1ing right now, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a tiny bit of advantage.
There's Core Skyfisher.
Journey to Nowhere.
Takes care of a Curian Ranger.
The fact that the elf player can still just like keep
Or no, I guess that went for the Birchlore Ranger to cut. Yeah, I think he might have said Birchlore Ranger and then put it at the Curian Ranger in case he just said, no, my Ranger's over here. There's a Well-Wisher and an attack for nothing? No, a Priest of Titania. So, I mean, Casey has drawn 11 cards this turn, and there's a Viridian Longbow.
That's finally something to do with his mana.
That's big game here, because he's got 2 Curian Rangers. He can get 3 activations out of his Longbow a turn.
Not even counting if he switches it between creatures using his Priest of Titania.
True. Also true. He can kill almost anything that Chris has to play.
Yeah, he's up to multiple things he can kill a turn.
You know, and this is, like I said, this is one of those times when Boros can't do anything. Interestingly enough, I think that Casey's deck is more set up for a matchup like this than a typical Elf deck, because the typical Elf decks don't have 4 Distant Melodies. That card is so hard to beat from the Boros side of it. You 1 for 1 with them, and then they just, draw so many cards. It's hard to keep up with the Elf player.
So we've got 4 cards hit off of this.
So that's 15 extra cards that Casey's drawn this game.
Jeez. So I was just going to say, I turned this guy sideways and they all come into play, probably. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
There's a Findhorn Elf. There was
Another Nettle Sentinel?
another Nettle Sentinel. These 2 Elvish Visionaries, drawing him more cards. He's drawn 17 cards this game, extra cards. And he still has mana floating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's spent 1, 2, 5, 6. I believe he has 1 green mana floating. He hasn't even used his Elvish Mystics yet.
And he could use Curian Ranger to untap that.
Yeah, because I don't believe he's made a land drop either. So he potentially has access to quite a bit more mana. Going to gain a boatload of life.
I'm not sure exactly what could stop him at this
Dealing a
point.
damage to the Core Skyfisher, dealing a damage to the Core Skyfisher, and dealing a 3rd damage to the Core Skyfisher.
Like this Core Skyfisher?
Prismatic Strands. Going to prevent that last point of damage. Does it though? The Longbow deals damage.
No, the creature does.
Oh, the creature deals
the creature
damage.
gains the ability of tapping
Oh,
to do damage.
okay, yeah, you're right. All right, and Chris has had enough. Wow, what an explosive game for Casey. All right, so sideboards here. From the Elf player, 2 Scattershot Archer, 3 Pulsar Marasa, 3 Gleeful Sabotage, 1 Magnify, 2 Tangle, 3 Spider Silk Armor, 1 Relic of Progenitus. And from Chris's side with Boros, we've got 2 Relic of Progenitus, 2 Leave No Trace, 3 Pyroblast, 3 Hallow, 2 Electrickery, 1 Standard Bearer, 1 Gorilla Shaman.
This is where it gets dirty.
Yeah, this is when stuff gets weird, because Standard Bearer can just turn off a lot of the Elf players' interactions. They can't untap their creatures with Curian Ranger. They can't pump their creature with Timberwatch Elf. But it gives you a juicy target for those main deck Viridian Longbows.
I'm just looking. So the Boros player has Electrickeries, which those are going to be counteracted by his opponent's Spider Silk Armors.
Yeah.
So you have to next level your opponent and then board in Leave No Trace. So if you have Leave No Trace, you can blow up all of those at once. His opponent is going to be boarding in might be boarding in some Gleeful Sabotage. Artifact Hate against Boros, I've had mixed results with.
I'm not a fan of it, especially from the elf side, where you've got to dilute your deck for it.
I think you're right, that you don't even board in. I think maybe one Gleeful Sabotage, just in case of, like, the enchantment removal spells.
Mm.
And then maybe you could pick up a couple of lands if the situation demands it, but most of the time you're just... even the one, I don't know if it's worth it, because he does have other great things to board in here, like even the Magnify. Like,
Yeah.
just
Just as an additional, I think I'm safe. My opponent doesn't have Spire Silk Armor, Overload Electricity, Magnify.
yeah. Or, oh, well, you're tapped out and I have 8 elves.
Take 16.
Yeah.
All right, we are off. Looks like both players kept 7. I think that is a white. Yep, that was a white. That was an Ancient Den into a mountain. There's Journey to Nowhere for the Elvish Mystic.
Slowing him down on that tempo, not waiting for an elf that's like a high value elf.
Yeah.
And he's on 1 land, so that really's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
If you can follow it up with extra kill spells, you can make the most of that. What are you
See,
gonna
this
say?
is definitely a game where the Monarch player is going to take advantage of their 1-for-1 removal spells.
Tell them to fix the life totals.
Oh yeah, because they moved the thing down.
I'm just gonna say it in chat. You think that's okay, Spencer? Just saying it in chat? I don't know how their system works.
Hopefully, maybe they'll see it. Let's keep an eye on it. If they don't move it, I'll just hop out there and move it. All right. Well, I'm impatient. I'm just gonna go put it back. I'm gonna move it to the middle as punishment. Just be like, this has to stay here now.
He says he thinks they'll see it, but
I'll just
I can commentate in the meantime. No biggie. So still on 1 land, we've seen 2 Journey to Nowheres. We've got a Core Skyfisher. Kind of important to note that Core Skyfishers can pick up those Journey to Nowheres and put them on more valuable targets if that is ever required. So a little bit less of a dire thing that... Oh, there it is. And then a dire thing that he's using these bigger removal spells on smaller creatures. Elvish Visionary coming out. So still on 2 mana. Looking for more. Didn't find the forest off of that. 2 damage in with Core Skyfisher. What the Boros player is definitely going to be wanting to do is just start flying over for massive damage. We see an extra Core Skyfisher come down, so he can fly over for 4 a turn.
Yeah.
You see the what hands of like...
Come on!
He's like looking for lands. See 2 Well-Wisher. This could buy him enough time.
That could help him.
But an Electricity here would just be...
Yeah, and I'm sure there's got to be a removal spell in the future.
Adavile draws a Great Furnace, I believe.
Okay, well...
Actually plays an Ancient Den. Sixia
Attack.
goes to 12.
And an untaps.
That looks like a Carrion Ranger, so that would represent... Oh, it was a land grant. That's what I was seeing there.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad one to draw. Basically a free land and a little extra because you got to filter both those cards out of your deck. So
Yeah. And
I mean, a bit of upside there. And here comes the Devoted Druid and a Nettle Sentinel off of the Findhorn Elf. Yeah, and now Chris is only dealing 1 damage a turn.
Yeah, I mean things are still precarious.
Oh yeah, no, Elves is not out of the woods yet, but it looks like Chris is running low on gas. I mean, his Nettle Sentinel or his Skyfishers, what were they bouncing? Were they just bouncing lands?
I believe they were just bouncing lands,
Yeah, so
trying to
he's
get ahead.
Kind of running out of gas here in the attempt to race, not getting a lot of value out of the Skyfishers.
But when,
Yeah, when Elves is on 1 land, you get your job done. But
I'm saying like he has a 1 in 5 chance of just taking out that Well-Wisher, and then it's back to just a really terrible race.
Sure, yeah.
That's a glint.
Oh,
hawk.
Glint Hawk just came down. It did get to bounce the Alchemist Vial, so, starting to get a little bit of an engine rolling, but now that Casey's found his second land, I think he should just be in good shape.
Yeesh.
And there's the Curian Ranger, so that's a lot of life now that he can gain.
That's basically coming down for free.
Bounce that, he gets to
Yeah.
make his land drop, gain a bunch more life. He's got a Manamorphose in his hand to cycle, I saw. He has a Viridian Longbow.
Doesn't have the Burstler Ranger, so probably not super excited about.
Oh, lead the Stampede, though.
Yeah, that you can be excited about.
Oh, man. And that looked like he hit 4 again. Priest, Finhorn Elves,
Nettle Sentinel.
Nettle Sentinel, and something else.
I think another Priest.
Another Priest, 2 Priests. Okay.
So not very high impact stuff, but
No. But still a lot of cards. So, gonna tap that for mana, play the Curian Ranger, which he can also use this turn. Gonna put a -1 counter on his Devoted Druid, tap it again, make a green mana.
no sideboard cards have been played yet.
Pick up a land, untap the Finhorn Elves, tap it again for mana. There's Priest of Titania. Pass the turn.
You do something now. Okay, an island is put, not an island, a plains is put into his hand.
Yeah.
Roughly, not happy about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
MTG
and-
Blade says Boros needs a sweeper, 100%.
They need it now. Like, this game is slipping away from the Boros player. Single pinpoint removal at this point is not going to do the trick. Attacking for 8 in the air, not going to do the trick either.
Elves player goes down to 0 lands and is just like, might as well gain 8.
Okay, I'm at 23. Yeah, they need to find an Electrickery now before Casey can find a Spider Silk Armor or a Magnify way to protect his creatures, or just find creatures that don't care about
We just
Electrickery.
lost the life totals thanks to
The iPad
the
dying,
iPad dying. It's plugged in.
notably.
What do we do? Anybody have the life totals?
It was 23 to 24.
You remember?
Oh, yeah, it was 23 to 24. Casey gained 8 life, went to 31, but then took a hit for 8.
So it's still 23 to 24.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll just try to. I'll just
You
try to
wanna
keep
run
it
up there?
remembered. I'll just say, keep playing, you guys. I'm gonna try to remember it. I know what life totals are.
well, they need to know it.
Well, they can write it down on paper.
Okay. Okay, so we'll just code on that end. I get it. Yeah, good luck with trying to remember that when the life totals are changing 4 times a turn and they're going to be at 100. Yep, there's pen and paper. Not going to be able to see that, so it's for the birds.
Okay, yeah, that was the issue. Is neither of the players were tracking life totals outside the iPad, so both of them were like, we have no idea what the life totals were. So they're going to write them down. We can't really see it, but I'm going to try my best to remember it. 23 to 24.
Spencer, the iPad out there died even though it was plugged in.
Yeah,
We have no idea. So,
they're on it, trying to get it fixed.
yeah.
That's what we just said, Johnny.
He's a little bit slow. Probably a couple seconds.
What? The iPad died. We have to. Okay, I gotta pay close attention though, because I'm tracking life totals mentally.
He gains.
No, he hasn't gained life yet. He's making a boatload of mana. All right, tap, shoot it down, untap it by playing a spell, shoot it down. Presumably playing another spell to untap it.
I love you, Johnny. We've been pretty mean to you today, though.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he goes to 32.
32 to 24.
Yep, so 32 to 24. Still a boatload of mana. There's another elf untap.
The issue is cards in hand now, and lands on the battlefield to activate Carrion Ranger, I think.
Right. Has he made a land? I don't believe he's made a land drop yet this turn.
I think that he did. I think he went down to 0 last turn.
Oh, you're right. He did. Yeah. Okay. So just doesn't have enough to kill all the creatures right now, but things are in a rough spot. A sweeper will still be nice here. It would just leave the Nettle Sentinel in play.
And 1 land. So this is still a manageable position.
Right.
It's just not going to be manageable.
So an attack for 6, that's going to put Casey down to 26. So we've got 26 to 24 on the life totals. Casting and flashing back a Battle Screech. Or not flashing it back.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh, just casting it, sorry. And pinging away with the Nettle Sentinel. Chris, pass the turn. Alright, and he is untapping. 12 elves in play, untapping the Nettle Sentinel. Tap the Nettle Sentinel, ping down that flyer. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, just 11 elves, sorry. I think I said 12, but there's just 11. And now he's doing that trick. He's got all the mana he needs. He doesn't need to keep untapping the Nettle Sentinel. He just keeps moving it to all his other elves to just start working on Chris's board.
Yeah.
And now he can even just make more mana with the other Priest of Titania. Tap for a bunch of mana, equip, pings down another one.
Life total's 26 to 24.
Yep, still 20 to 24. Presumably 37 at least. So, yep, goes to 37. Life totals 37 to 24. Basic Mountain, tapped. Lightning Bolt. I mean, what do you target at this point? Oh, yeah, the Well-Wisher.
The Well-Wisher, yeah.
So it looks like he did it again, so he's going to gain another 11 life. So he's at 48 life. So 48 to 24. I hope I'm right.
Rough amounts.
Yeah, rough amounts. I don't know that it super matters. Casey has a super high life total. I believe it's 47.
Either an Electrickery is drawn,
or this game is to a close end.
Yeah.
Ton of mana coming. 10 mana coming. Pulse of Marasa.
Well-Wisher.
Yeah.
I'm going to gain 6 life to get my guy who gains me like 20 life.
So 53 to 24. And recast the Well-Wisher with all your floating mana. Which I believe he has 5 floating. He's going to filter some of it. A Galvanic Blast targets the Well-Wisher in response. So it looks like he's got 4 green mana and a blue mana. And draw a card. Off me Manamorphose. There's a land grant.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna reveal he has a forest in hand. So he did pay the iron price for the land grant. And he's got another Manamorphose. So his hand is Forest, Pulse, Manamorphose.
Is he just revealing, like, Land Grant doesn't force you to reveal your hand unless it's free, right?
Yeah, it doesn't, but he's still revealed.
Yeah.
Which I'm not. That's okay. It gave us a little more information.
Another Manamorphose.
So spend his blue mana to cast a Viridian Longbow. So that's 2 longbows in play. Gonna go up to 59 life to cast another Pulse of Marasa. I assume he grabbed the Well-Wisher. He's got no mana floating. Now he's got 11.
Yeah, he could be triggering his Nettle Sentinel like a bunch of times. But
Well, he got that one. I think he got the one that matters. I think he realized that there's no there's a Birch Lore Ranger in play, so I guess he could have technically been generating mana with the half a mana.
well, he
with
could,
the Nettle
he could
Sentinel.
have been activating
Verdant
Longbow.
Sure, yeah, you're
But-
right.
He's gonna attack for like 10 this turn.
Yeah, so he attacked for some amount of damage. Chris has less than 20 life. I couldn't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he attacked for 5. And
That's a scoop.
yeah, Chris just scoops it up.
That's it.
All right,
204, the Elves player,
Casey Snow
Casey Snow.
takes it down.
I don't know if that was. I don't like take a look at the standings. I don't know if they
Yeah, I can
gave us the.
I can pull up the standings. I believe I have access to them here.
And then, do you want to bring the player in for an interview real quick, or do you want me to go grab them while you're pulling up the standings?
Sure.
Okay. Casey Snow is who I'm looking for.
Yep.
I don't know anybody's face, so I'm just gonna yell the name.
Okay. I can't make heads or tails of this document on my phone. So, hold tight. We'll be right back with a player interview from Casey, and we will get you the top 8 announcement in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
It's called Elfdrazi.
So throughout the whole series, I've been doing Ulamog's Crushers just to kind of like throw the meta off, and then hard pivoted into the Viridian Longbows with an extra visionary. So the idea was to bamboozle people. It's just playing the local meta.
And it looked like there was less like of the big payoff creatures, like one Timberwatch elf over instead of.
So it was a kind of a one-up just to kind of get there in some games or protect me against some of the higher end items. This is a very cute build, obviously with 8 forests and 4 land grants. I'm definitely on the cuter end of things. I have to mulligan a couple times from time to time that are pretty bad in my favor. But the Viridian Longbow is my payoff. I'm going for flavor wins with elves using their bows. So
That makes sense.
that's the majority of it.
Because usually it's lots of Timberwatch elves and then Lissalana Hunt Masters.
I do not like Lysana. I just do not. I've played her a few times, one Tribble, and like all your board state's gone, and it just feels bad. Like, but that's elves, and so I want to play low to the ground. If I'm going to be playing the land grant variant, I can't afford to have the list. Like, I mean, granted, if I start chaining spells and then getting things, I'm also on 4 of the Distant Melody and 3 of the Lead the Stampedes.
So kind of like a switch of
just kind of changing it up a little bit. I wanted to go for more of a flavor here.
Anything else you want to spotlight here of
Not really.
on the list, or
it was
something
it
happened
was
in the match
cute.
so that
The match. I mean, let's talk about how it's easy to abuse the Quarian Rangers. Like, well wishers get you there. They just do.
went down to 0 lands. That was
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. There have been games where I've had 3 Ulamog's Crushers on turn 3 with no lands.
Yeah.
That's like the best I ever did, but that was against another Elves player, Priest of Titania, with 20 Elves on the board gets you
That makes
places.
sense. Yeah.
I don't know, just Elves. I didn't end up making top 8 because every Delver deck here is tired of my crap and tacked against me, so I just kind of had to sit and take the punishment of sideboards over and over again. So the salt's real, but that's one of my favorite things about the game.
Did you bring in any Gleeful Sabotages?
I tried doing it against the Pestilence, but it's just like you're already so far ahead. Like, I'm looking at one Gleeful Sabotage in my hand and like a land, and they've got 5 cards, and I'm like, oh, this is pointless.
Yeah.
So,
Most of the time, it's just like,
yeah.
I would rather this have just been another elf.
Yeah, and the idea was the egg deck. I had started off the series with that egg deck, but But I was doing the Salvage Slasher. He's from Conflux. He gets +1 for every grave artifact in your graveyard.
It's flying, right?
No, just 1 in a black for a 1/1.
Oh!
It's +1/+0.
I was thinking of the Glaze Fiend.
Yeah,
Salvage
I
Slasher
don't
is
actually
just
Fiend. But yeah, Slasher,
static.
it was a Skrillex deck, and I'm like, okay, how do I fuel my graveyard? And then it turned into eggs, and I'm like, I'm over this. I just got bored with it. And then West is all like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to jam some Reckless Fireweavers. I'm like, oh my god, the value. And so I've watched him scale that deck up throughout the whole series, so that's been fun to watch.
You're probably playing your own game, but the game where he was like, he's been playing the Oracle. It's not Coiling Oracle. Anyway, the
Clark Claim Shaman?
no, it's the new 1/3 from War of the Spark.
Burning Prophet.
Burning Prophet.
Oh yeah, we talked about that, and I saw on the stream that you guys were addressing that. I think you get the pardon my pun, reckless value out of the Weaver.
Yeah.
I feel like hitting the lands and getting that little extra jab in there puts you ahead of the curve.
Yeah, he made it look really good on camera.
Yeah.
Of just like, it was like, turn 3 he had scryed like 4 times, and then he had gotten another like 6 within the next 3 turns.
Yeah, no, it was very cute the way he performed it.
He's just like, it never works that well.
Yeah, it rarely does, but when it does, it's magical. So I'm glad that he got to be on camera for that. So that was cool.
But I just changed the subject to somebody else's deck, or maybe that was you.
Well,
But
I mean, it's
other-
just, elves. I'm just so burnt out because I've been playing elves for like 10 weeks now, and I'm just tired.
It is very like, you do the thing.
It's linear, and like there's only so much tooling you can do to make it, unique and cute. So I mean, you just stick with what's good. I do want to go and defend that land grant variant is the best elves, and I don't give a shit what anybody says.
I agree.
Do you guys get demonetized if I swear?
I don't know, but I wouldn't swear.
Okay, well, the non-land grant variants are booty. I hate it. You don't hit as consistently on your like draw spells, and I also put in Manamorphose to help me color fix because Birchlore Rangers get axed really quickly. So hitting that blue is really important. Plus, it replaces itself. So that was kind of my own flourish on the deck. But land grants is better, and anybody who says otherwise is foolish.
I agree with you.
Yeah, and I mean, but I've been fighting that for like 3.5 weeks to 6 weeks. That some dude walks in and he's like, "Oh, you're doing the land grant variant so bad," and then I jam 3 Ulamog's Crushers on turn 3, and I'm like, "Okay, so how bad is it? Because I don't have any lands. Like, obviously, I don't need those." So I don't know. People just like to have their opinions.
Yeah, Brandon's over there whispering his opinion.
Land grant's great.
True.
That's not what he said under his breath.
That's okay. He's entitled to his wrong opinion.
Okay, anything else? I don't have any other questions.
No, you guys need to get a better camera. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure everybody said that. Some
Yeah.
people are coming up to me and they're like, "You're the manager, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Your camera's bad." I'm like, "It's not my camera, and it's the one we have. Like, deal with it."
Well,
Yeah, get off our grill, man.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the lights we're using. Like, you can only do so much.
I mean, like, these lights are only half lit above me.
yeah.
That's not good. I mean, our store's great. It's just, it's all functioning the way it's supposed to.
This is the first time we've come and done this, and like we now like this is
We
the
had
thing
a
we need to do.
week's worth of preparation time to get this together.
Was it a week?
Maybe less.
We heard about it on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like 5 days.
Yeah, when we decided, hey, let's get commentary together for this thing. So,
I mean, I should have just gone with my gut instinct and played the dinosaur deck that I brewed on Friday. Just like meme the hell out of this tournament.
Ooh, I would have been like, you need to put that guy on stream first round. He's
Yeah,
probably not going to
first
make it to
I don't
round
care.
2.
I'll waste my buy. I'm just gonna piss my buy away here, and then let's just jam into Pestilence with my dinosaurs that enrage and do damage. This is dumb. But yeah.
That's fun.
So cool. I'm glad that you guys are doing this. So next week will be the top 8. I hit 9th, so I'll be salty and feel bad about myself.
I think, I don't know if I can do this next week, but I think next time we do this, like next time around, we can cover the last like top 8.
Yeah.
So
The top 8 is where it gets like really cutthroat and spicy. So
okay.
Yeah.
We'll see, but I think we're gonna sign off.
well, we're gonna make the top 8 announcement.
Oh, we're gonna make the top 8
Yeah.
announcement?
So
That's
Casey
fair.
can leave, and we're gonna make the top 8 announcement.
Okay.
yeah, because I'm 9th. I don't have to deal with this shit. I'm over it.
Get out of here.
Bye. Bunch of nerds. Oh, I said shit again. My bad.
You goddamn
I edit that out in post and we don't get any money for Twitch.
Is this live?
All right. This is
Live?
live.
Yeah.
This is on Twitch. We're
Then some
streaming this
good
live.
post-op editing.
Well, we're gonna put it on YouTube's. All right, so cool. So that was Casey Snow. He was the elf player that we just saw. Time for the top 8 announcement, and then we are going to be signing off until next week. I can for sure be here. If Sean's not here, I'll figure out something else, someone else who can help me with commentary. We're for sure going to be bringing this back next week, so you guys can see the top 8. So let's make the announcement. First place on Blue Black Delver, John Buchanan. Second place on White Black Pestilence, Christine Boyd. Third place on Marasa Tron, Jake Weiss. Fourth place on Elves, Flisher Pine? They've got to have misspelled his name there. Fifth place on Eggs, West Singleton. Sixth place on Blue Black Delver, Jacob Hansen. Seventh place on Domain Zoo, Zachary Kirby. And 8th place on Blue Black Delver, Ethan Comstock. 3 Blue Black Delver decks.
Yeah, the number 4, Fisher Pine, is just, that's an I, they just accidentally capitalized it, it's not an L.
Okay, so it is Fisher Pine, P-Y-N-E.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if there's another vowel in pine. So yeah, that's our top 8.
Okay, so are we done now?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Okay.
We're signing off here from Oasis Games in Salt Lake City. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and be here next week, same time, for the exciting top 8.
I'll try to be here. This is the first I've ever heard that it was going to be next week or anything, I think.
Yeah, they always do it 2 days.
Or if we were going to do commentary again. So
I think
I
we
have
are.
to negotiate that with the girlfriend, and I'll try to be here. So
All right, well, wish Sean luck. Bye forever until next week.
figure out where the camera is.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the top 8 of the Oasis Games Pauper Invitational Tournament. I'm Brandon, your host, and Sean is your other host.
Hey, everybody.
Your commentary host.
I want to let them know we're ready.
So we're going to be bringing you the top 8 action. All right, and so we've got our players.
Okay, and we do have the names.
Yeah, I asked him to send it to you. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. It's been a long day for everyone, but we're here and we're ready to talk Pauper. So they're getting ready for the semifinal match between